Fuck that. Stand
Oh
the
God.
fuck up. Hold on. Sorry, I'm too goddamn hype right now to be fucking sitting down in my fucking chair. I'm fucking ready to party. All right, what's up, everybody? Best goddamn
Right.
fucking channel on the
Best.
fucking internet. Team Skeptic, and we're ready to go. Unfortunately, we're not all the way ready because Vlad, he hadn't gotten here yet, but he does have a pass. He told me that him and his family had things to do tonight, and he was going to be a little bit later than when we were starting. So he is coming, and we have done an audio mic check, but at the same time, he's not here just yet. So what I have here for you guys is I have Mr. Fohammer, who will be one of the participants tonight in the debate. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fairly good. And yourself, team?
I'm fucking doing out goddamn standing, my friend.
That's good to hear.
Feeling better, man. Shit. I feel great.
Yeah,
Had a
you were
great
pretty
show
fucking
last
sick.
time, so. I was. I told you I slept like I was only awake for about 8 or 9 hours yesterday and I slept the rest of the time. So I feel good. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning and said, let's kick today's ass. And so far I have kicked today's ass. Have you kicked ass today yet, sir?
Oh, I have. I actually played a lot of Call of Duty, and I didn't suck as bad as you do.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Oh no, I'm breaking my camera trying to put it back in place. Don't do that. All right. But we're gonna have a really great show tonight. Shit, man. We have Vlad, we have Fohammer, and we also have a special guest tonight who's not on camera, but we're gonna introduce him anyway. Mr. Prime Red, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing well, team. Doing well. Thanks for having me back on the channel.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Now you guys have something coming up. I'd like you guys to talk about that for a second. Let the people know what's going on in the world of Prime Red and Fohammer.
That's right, we do. Yeah, we've been talking about this a little bit. Got a lot of ideas, got a lot of things that we're going to be cooking up. And we want to know, are there any science fiction fans out there in the chat right now?
There's one here on the panel for sure. His name would be
Oh, there's three
goddamn
on the
Team
panel.
Skeptic.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. For sure. Yeah, we got a couple of yeses, it looks like. Okay.
Oh,
The plot hole says science fiction sucks, so he's not invited to any of our upcoming plans. Um,
none. I'll
uh,
fill in.
yeah. So anyway, we have got a show that we're going to be producing. For the moment, it's going to be on my channel, but we're calling it Sci-Fi Navigator, and basically, we're going to be talking about different kinds of science fiction in all its forms, TV shows, movies, maybe even do a little bit of fan fiction. But we're going to dissect it and comment on it and talk about sci-fi ideas and tropes, starships, things like that, all kinds of good stuff.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. Speaking of the chat, how's everybody in chat doing tonight? While we wait for Vlad, why don't you tell us how you guys are doing tonight? And I saw your message, Dan B, about me getting my Venmo set up. I actually do have it set up. I forgot what I did, like how I set it up and how to get you that information. I know you've been busting my nuts about it, so I definitely need to get that to you because I'm sure you're not going to send me like raunchy porn through Venmo. I'm sure it's going to be something healthy for me that maybe I can buy like some free water or something. So I'll get you that Venmo. But yeah, man, I'm fucking feeling good, man. We're having a good time tonight. I have a few things coming up. I'm glad we have people. I'll go ahead and tell people what's coming up for, future viewers who might be watching this, because that way they don't have to watch all the way to the end to know what's coming up. On Friday, what am I talking about? On Wednesday. Oh, Rad Vlad. He actually made it here early. I wasn't expecting you for a little bit. Give me 1 second, Vlad, and I'll get you on camera and introduce you properly. But yeah, on Wednesday, we're going to be doing an Ultimate Karen video, and we're going to be covering Without a Crystal Ball. I'm getting everything put together for that. If anybody has any videos or suggestions in the chat of her being a Karen or her being not just a Karen, but she's being a piece of shit human being right now. And I want to. We'll go ahead and do the like a live show. It's gonna be a live Ultimate Karen show where we're gonna go through. We're gonna break down all the stupid shit she's done. She's being sued for $5 million. We covered that before, but also she's actively hitting channels with strikes. So we'll see if she strikes my channel. We're gonna put her to the test. And but I'm definitely gonna make her look stupid because she's a fucking idiot. Now, Mr. Rad Vlad, how are you doing today, sir? Oh, well, he walked away right when I cut to him. Yo, Vlad, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's up, dog? Doing good.
Yeah, you're looking warm over there.
It's a little chilly outside, you know, so got my wizard hood on. The all-knowing, wise flat earther.
Well,
Ready for debate.
You're ready for a debate. That's good because I'm ready to host one. You guys know the rules. There are none. Just no hate speech. That's all I ask from you guys. Please be respectful when y'all are talking so you're not talking over each other. I don't care what you have to say to each other as long as it's not being said at the same time so everybody can fucking hear you insult each other. But other than that, and I still do have a slight cough, so you're going to have to excuse me, guys, a little bit. But look, Vlad, I dressed up for you, bro. I'm wearing long sleeve button up, baby. Gotta be sexy. Vlad, you want to say anything before we get started? Because I think Fohammer is going to go first. I think that was the agreement last time, was that not?
I went first last time. Vlad went first this time.
Okay.
Oh, Vlad, do you mind going first, Vlad? I got two of your YouTube videos, the moon video and the ballistics video, ready to go. If you have anything else that you want to send it to me on email. And if not, I'll let you go first since Fohammer went first last time. And are you ready?
Hold on. You got the moon video of the eclipse or of the which one?
I don't know. The one you emailed to me. Let me read off what the title of the video is. Moon Astronaut.
Okay. Okay. So you need you need this one. I'm sending. I don't know. Let me see this one.
Send it to me on email and I'll load it up
Let
for
me
you.
know. Okay, and I'll tell you guys. What happened last time was I wasn't coming in loud and clear, so we cut it. If you don't, I'd like to have called me out. Unless he really doesn't want to go first, then I can go first. But I really don't know where to start. He picked the fight with me, which I like. Camera, he's a good guy. Good to see you, buddy. Am I coming in clear? Am I coming in clear?
Yeah, you're looking fine.
All right, so
well, it's a tad bit choppy, but you're pretty clear. Like we can understand what you're saying. I think it might have to do with the fact that you're sending me video and audio, but it's nothing we can't work with right now, Vlad. You're sounding fine.
Mike was like behind me, so I just put it kind of more in front of me and at a good distance, so maybe it'll be better.
That sounds
Let me
good
send
right
this.
there.
Okay, that's probably why I had it behind me, man. Okay, team, I'm sending you my other video. Just 3. I'm not going to overdo it. But like I said, if you don't mind, I'd rather have Fohammer go first. And then I know that I can orientate myself. Because I don't really know where to start.
Fohammer, do you mind? I'm going to call you F-Dog. F-Dog, do you mind going first?
I don't mind whatsoever. I'm going to be repeating a lot of the stuff that I said last time, Vlad, as long as you're okay with that. Because I got halfway through my 10 minutes and you had to go because you had issues with your audio, which is understandable. These things happen.
Yeah. First. All right. So Fohammer.
I don't mind if he starts from the top or whatever he wants to do. You know, it was a fail because of my so it'd be cool if we just started from the top, man. I think but you're the host, team. Whatever you think.
No, that's good. Fohammer already said he'll start. So Fohammer, you start presenting. I have your links pulled up. So tell me when you need a link to be shown.
All right. So
and one
he
can just start.
Hold on one second. What'd you say, Vlad?
I mean, I kind of remember what he said. Also, he doesn't have to go through the whole presentation. He can just start questioning me if he wants to.
I would like him to go ahead and do the
Um,
full presentation so he can get
Yeah,
his practice in for debating as well. So, Fohammer, if you want
yeah.
to start from the top, you got about 10 to 15 minutes to present what you need to present, and then we'll turn it over to Vlad.
Okay. So my first evidence is of Gunworks. We already went over this. They build some of the best bolt-action rifles. They have a video on Coriolis. Team, would you be able to pull up? Let me check my citations. I should have this organized better than I did last time. But it's the first video from Gunworks. And
okay, I just have to download it, but it won't take but a second. So we get it in there.
Okay. It will be
and that's
3
going
minutes.
To be demonstrating how Coriolis affect bullet drops. Is that correct?
Yep. It will be showing the result of the targets, the 3 rounds on each target, and it won't be showing any of the firearms firing. So everything should be good with that.
Cool. I'm bringing it in right now. Give me 1 second for you. I actually really enjoyed this video too. Okay, I'm just gonna let it play, and I'm gonna put it on mute, and you can speak from there. Go ahead.
All right. So on that, they have a whiskey optic. It's not the one I'm addressing right now. Called the Revic optic. Revic optic takes just about everything into account, from Coriolis and Yachtvoss to aerodynamic jump and spindrift. Windage, elevation, you name it. Then there's Kestrel, there's Tracking Point, there's dozens of other companies that do this same thing. If they are all lying about Coriolis, shooters like yours truly would be able to tell. Because our groupings at 1,000 meters would be shit. And it would be very obvious to see.
Effect is the effect.
Oh, sorry.
That.
That's fine. So my question to you during our back and forth is, why would they lie when every single person who builds these optics stakes their livelihood on what they do and how they function? Why would they lie about it when they can go to prison? Human greed is something you can always count on for driving just about anything. Just about everything we do is based off of human greed. But this video is talking about getting a dope, which is a data of previous engagement. I'm not going to display my dope that I have for my rifle, but that's okay. I don't have to. Anyway, my next one. So there are different weights for different calibers of bullets. I'm going to be referring to something called grains. A grain is a unit of measurement. It is 1/7,000th of a pound. 243 Winchester is a very light, very fast round. It's shooting roughly 3,500 feet per second. At 1,000 meters, it has dropped further than 308, which is a heavier, faster round. 308 is about 168 grain for the majority of rounds, and 243 is roughly 100 grains for the heavier side of things. 308 is going 2,800 meters per second. So why is there this big of a drop if gravity isn't a thing? This is something that we can calculate and we expect when we apply gravity to it. As a bullet slows down, it drops further because gravity has more time to act on it. So how does that work on the flat Earth, I guess my question is to you. Because from what I've seen, it doesn't. But that's just from what I've seen. Now, the last thing is EchoStar 11. This is a little bit different. This isn't purely ballistic, so I do apologize for that. EchoStar 11 is a satellite that was launched on July 16, 2008, and was used by Dish Network to provide a direct broadcasting service, and it had a camera on it. Dish Network had a channel dedicated to it 24/7, channel 212. It was decommissioned much later due to damage by radiation, which is again something we would expect to see in space. If you claim it's CGI or fake, it's up to you to prove that it is. And if you can't, then I'm going to be implying Hitchens' razor, which is perfectly acceptable for me to do. But other than that, the last thing I have is back to ballistics. The Battle of Jutland in World War I. In it, British ships engaged German ships, specifically battleships. The British ships were roughly 200 feet off from their target at 10 miles, which was the limit of artillery, naval artillery at the time, just because that was the best they had. Once they applied the correct Coriolis effect to their rangefinders, which is completely mechanical, there is no digital input, they were hitting German battleships left and right. Okay, not left and right. Their odds of hitting went from 1 in 200 rounds to 1 in 150. Again, how is this possible on a flat Earth? I yield the rest of my time to the moderator.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. You sent me several links. Are you sure you want to stop there?
We can go over those a little bit later. I want to be able to question Vlad and make sure that I'm fully able to explain exactly what I'm trying to explain to him and make sure that he's understanding what I'm saying and vice versa.
Hell yeah. Vlad, you ready to start with your presentation?
Oh, you want me to present and not answer those questions?
No. We'll get to a back and forth later. You present your side now. Any of the videos you sent me, just tell me which ones you want me to play, and I'll play them.
Okay. All right. Let me check my notes over here. I didn't know I was going to present. Okay.
Oh, you're present. Yeah. You sent me links to videos, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll play the videos for you. You just tell me which ones you want me to play.
Okay. Read me. Okay, play. Let me see what. Hey, since he's a ballistics, play the ballistics video first.
Elements of long range shooting, correct?
Yeah.
I love this video, by the way, Vlad.
Okay, give me 1 second to set that video up for you.
How long is the video? Because we might need to hear the whole thing. There's something he says that I want to be. I want to make a point out of one of the things he says.
In this video, he states that Coriolis only needs to be applied to targets when you are doing when you have time to apply it. It's not necessary at 1,000 meters, but it does affect targets at 1,000 meters.
So Vlad, I'm loading that video up right now. You tell me when you need to stop it and make some points, okay? Yeah. Here we go.
All right.
And you want the audio on this video, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Coriolis effect is a second order effect that affects your ballistic trajectory. It has to do with the spin of the Earth. Okay, so you're basically shooting from one point to another on a rotating sphere in an inertial reference frame. And the consequence of that is that if the flight time of the bullet gets significantly long, the bullet can have an apparent drift from its intended target. And the amount is very small. It depends on your latitude and azimuth of fire on the planet. The intent of this short video is just to give you an overview of what the Coriolis effect is, where it comes from. But if you really want to learn more details about it and learn how to calculate it, you can reference it in the books. Applied Ballistics for Long Range Shooting has a lot more detail on Coriolis effect. But to kind of give you a feel for it, it's a very subtle effect. You know, most calibers, by the time you have to get clear to 1,000.
Okay, it's a very subtle effect. Keep going.
Yards before it starts to amount to 1 click on your fire solution. So anything less than a click is, insignificant because you can't adjust for it. Coriolis effect is not something to think about.
It's insignificant. Coriolis effect is something you should not even think about, he said. Keep going.
Is worth. So applications where you could think about Coriolis and have it be a major impact on your hit percentage is if you're shooting at extended range on relatively small targets in low wind conditions. In those cases where you know your muzzle velocity in BC very well, basically pristine conditions, that's where you're going to see Coriolis creep in, and your solutions will be, you'll see more refinement and more accuracy in your solutions if you account for Coriolis on those types of shots. But Coriolis, if you miss your target by 3 feet at 600 yards, it's not Coriolis. If you're thinking about Coriolis while you're trying to engage a moving target, you shouldn't be. It's a very subtle effect. People like to make more of it than it is because it's mysterious and it's sort of an attribute of what people think of in the, as to why long-range shooting is so hard. But in most practical long-range shooting applications, Coriolis isn't important. What is important is to understand when you should think about it and when you shouldn't, when applying it will matter and when it won't.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can really add much more to what the man just said in an argument against Coriolis. It seems to not really be a thing, according to coming straight from the horse's mouth. It's like Bigfoot, man. It's kind of like some people believe in it, but how are you going to prove that? Is there any way has anyone gone out in the field and shot at a target and not considered Coriolis effect and then took effect into consideration and then scored higher? I'd like to see that. Can are you guys there? Or is it, I'm talking to myself.
I didn't know.
No, yeah, it's your time. Everybody's being quiet, so you can present during your time. Do you have an?
Yeah, I got more. Okay, so that's still presenting. I was waiting to get attacked by you guys, but I'm still presenting, which is nice.
I don't do that thing, man.
Okay, so the next one, show me the shadow of the moon on Earth.
Shadow of the moon on Earth. Okay, that would be which one is that one, Vlad? I don't see that.
Not the puppet on the string. The shadow of the moon on Earth.
Okay, you didn't send me that one, I don't think. Will you shoot me that link real quick, and I will download it.
All right, play puppet on the string while I'm doing this one.
Okay, give me 1 second to load that up. Okay, and here we go with that.
I wonder if one day that you'll say that you care. If you say you love me madly, I'd gladly be there like a puppet on.
All right, I'm not going to play the audio, so just in case they copyright claim it.
It was great. Look at it. Okay, look at the cable. See the little fingers pointing?
Let me get that full screen so people can really get a good look at it. 1 second.
They say that the astronaut just has an antenna on his little. Turn the volume a little, because it's a good little tune. Don't you guys like that number?
No, they'll copyright strike me. No, we're good.
Oh.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so we'll just keep looking. I'm looking for the other video while I'm doing this. Okay, look where the finger is pointing. Watch this. See that? Where that little flash shows the cable, that is the reason these guys look like the helium to big helium balloons. They're like the size of a small child's bedroom, and that's what gives them the floating around without gravity. And they show you that they practiced for the film shoot. They never went to the moon. You see right there. I mean, give me a break, man. Whoever looks at that and can't see it's fake, you're a very naive person. And I'll tell you again, you see with your own eyes the flash of light on the cave in these guys to the helium balloon that's causing them to bounce around this film studio. Okay, they lied about going to the moon. It didn't happen. Look how he just gets, he falls down, but then he gets pulled up by something pulling him, not by him being lighter because of the moon's gravity. And he gets like yanked up by that. Look, he got by the balloon that he's attached to. You know, that's very silly, and they look very silly. And it's a big fat hoax. Okay, so, and I'll tell you another thing about that. In 1969, President Nixon phone called them with a telephone. How you doing up there? This is President Nixon. We're very proud of you boys down here. You're great Americans. And then they answer back with no from the moon, 250,000 miles away. We've got the super whopper power system to catapult that boost that transmission from Earth. We could say it exists somewhere, but how the heck did they transmit from the moon back to Earth with that little bitty satellite dish they have? It was big, and they had it's known they had like 8-9 volt batteries in there. So again, you got to be very naive person that you could transmit in real time without any sound delay. And never mind that, just to transmit the signal from the from the moon while everything's moving around and spinning. You know, and then I'll put on top of that, when did they get to do some practice flying those vehicles they use? When they get to practice it within a real environment like space? Well, they didn't. So that means their first shot, they had to get it right. Those test pilots, the first time flying those vehicles, gravity, completely different realm environment than we have here on Earth with air and gravity. They're floating around in space. So the vehicle is like a little tin can that without jet propulsion, it's got little like blasts. The way it moves, there's like a little blast, a little explosion will happen, and then the spaceship will, like, because of that explosion, so they say it'll kind of like turn like this way, like bang, and then it turns that way. But if they went too much, because they never probably think it overcompensate, bang, blow it the other way. Come on, man. So they got it perfectly right the first time out, and they landed on the moon. They orbited around it. So when they landed on the moon, another vehicle was orbiting around the moon, and then when it was time to take off, they took off, and they caught up with that other vehicle before. Never had a test flight. They just got it right the first time. They were able to track it around and then connect perfectly with I forgot the names of it. The Tomcat with the Soyuz. They connected and then flew back perfectly. Okay. Let me and then the last one. Hope I didn't go over 10 minutes. The last one.
No, you're good.
Is the last one is really what is the death blow for you guys, for the globe Earth, or at least for the whole solar system heliocentric model. This is death for you guys. I'm sorry, but I got it. The truth is more important than hope I get here. I think it's here. Man, I hope I get this right. Okay, here. I'm sending it to you right now.
Okay.
This is going to be the all right. Okay, it says sent. Did you get it, team?
It hadn't come through yet, but give it 1 second. Yeah, I got it. All right.
All right.
1 second.
Play that.
Let me download it for you real quick. Hold on.
All right. I'll narrate us.
Oh, this is just an image right here. This is just an image.
No, it should be moving. Do you see it moving? That's the cool part. It
Oh,
moves.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me 1 second to bring
Oh.
this in. I got it. Hold on.
I'll walk us all through it, nice and slow.
All right. Give me 1 second to add that.
I mean,
Okay, and here we go.
okay, so
Whoa, played fast. Hold on.
yeah. So what you see here, this is a real video of the real shadow of the moon on Earth during the 2017 eclipse. And and now this shadow we're looking at, the perimeter of it is 70 miles wide. And we know any shadow cast by an object, by the sun, like a light source like the sun. I mean, there's different light sources where you can make a shadow bigger than the object. Maybe with multiple light sources, you can make it appear smaller, but with one light source like the sun, and you guys can test it out, the shadow is never going to be smaller than the object casting that shadow. So that means if this shadow is 70 miles wide, the moon can't be more than 70 miles wide. But then what the globe earthers will come and they'll rebut, they'll try to refute and say, well, what we're looking at is only the umbra, and the penumbra is the whole area we're seeing all around that dark part, which includes that light part we're looking at in the background, which I'm saying is sunlit Earth, but the proponents of globe Earth will say, no, it just looks that way, but that's really in shadow. That's the penumbra, and it's as big as the United States. It's like 2,000 miles wide. But what we're seeing is the umbra, which is smaller. So what will happen now? So keep that in mind about the shadow I'm showing you here. Now, if you look above the shadow in the sky, you see the actual eclipse. It's cool. The moon goes in front of the sun, right? Now the sun appears. There's the sun. It goes out, and then it's behind the moon, and then it appears. Okay. Now, if that sunlit Earth back there was actually shadow, penumbra, the fact that we see the sun tells you we're seeing sunlight. The fact that there's a moment the sun tells you there should be a shadow also, which is what we see. Now, this is what I'm going to tell to all the smart guys who try to say, oh, it's that shadow's numbers all around it. Okay, you can see with your own eyes. Within the perimeter of the entire shadow, you see both umbra. There's the umbra right there, that dark part that just kind of faded back towards into the image. Okay, you see how it kind of fades back away from you? Here it's kind of closer, it's bigger. And then as the eclipse happens, it moves away. So you're looking at the umbra. Guess what, boys and girls? The penumbra is that faded part around the shadow, okay? And then beyond that, sunlit Earth, okay? So to be clear, a shadow is like, if it was a human body, you can't. A human body has a head, torso, and legs, arms and legs. A shadow has umbra, penumbra, and also antumbra. But I'm not going to get too complicated. We need to talk about that one right now. So to try to say the shadow is the umbra, you can't have a shadow with umbra and no penumbra. A shadow is umbra, just like a human body is head, torso, legs, hips, and arms. The whole tamale, baby. The whole thing. Just to be clear, what you're looking at here is a 70-mile wide shadow from and within that perimeter of that shadow, which includes both umbra and penumbra,
is a cone of infinite length. When the ball is we can once again see the
beyond. What's that talking? What's that talking? I hear something.
Okay, I don't think it's coming from my end. Here,
all right.
Go ahead.
Maybe I gotta shut I'm gonna shut some of the windows down. Within this 70-mile wide shadow, which includes both umbra, and penumbra. We see the entire shadow. Around the perimeter of that shadow is nothing but sunlit earth. That's a slam dunk. There's no way out of that for you guys to dig your way out of that hole. That shadow is 70 miles wide. That circle is 70 miles wide from end to end, which tells us within reality we exist in this world. Shadow is never smaller than the object casting it. The moon cannot be more than 70 miles. That's death for you guys, and there's no way to get out of that one. I'm very sorry for you guys. I'm glad I'm in my position and not yours. You guys kind of don't want to deal with some of them, but that one there is death for you.
And would you be done with your presentation now?
Yeah. How long did I for? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I wasn't watching the time. I was just letting you speak. Now I'm going to turn it over to you and Fohammer to have a back and forth. I'll simply step in if you guys are getting out of hand and talking over each other. Okay, but I'm going to let you guys go back and forth, and I'm just going to switch the cameras. So, Fohammer, we'll cut it to you first. I'm sorry. Vlad?
Team, one question.
Yeah.
He's going to ask me some questions, which I wrote down. He can ask me, but then give me a moment. When I finish answering all his questions, I'll do the best I can. Then I want a chance to ask him some questions. Can you give me that?
Yeah, sure. No, yeah. This is back and forth. You ask any questions you want. All I ask is that you guys answer the question that the other person asks. Entertain that, and you guys don't speak over each other. You want to start with this part, Vlad, or do you want Fohammer to go first?
Yeah. I do want to start with one quick question so that we're all on the same page. Okay, sure. Okay, Mr. Hammer.
I'm sorry, you cut out there, buddy. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
All right.
I think it just cut out for a second right then and there, Vlad, but you're good for the most part.
Yep, right at the first thing that you were saying, I couldn't hear you.
How about now? You hear me? Can you hear me good now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know about how to calculate Earth curvature.
Okay.
Do you know? Yeah. Do you know that equation? I'm just curious. Do you know it?
Off the top of my head, I do not. I don't know how to calculate Earth curve, but that is not my specialty. That is not what I claim to be able to do.
That's fine, because I'll tell you guys right now. I didn't know if he knew that or not about Earth curvature. I'll tell you right now. Before it's done, I may convert Fohammer.
Nope, you won't. I'm sorry, buddy.
I'll tell you. Because when I learned about Earth, yeah, we'll try. When I learned about how to calculate Earth curvature, it opens your eyes up. Like, oh shit! Like certain stuff is just not possible anymore on this. If you live on a big old basketball, you got to realize the Earth is. People think, well, it so doesn't matter, but the curvature on a it's so extreme. It makes a big difference, even on a 25,000 mile circumference ball. So I just want to tell you this: the way to calculate curvature, the Earth curves 8 inches times the number of miles squared. So for the first mile, it'll curve 8 inches down. There's an 8-inch drop. Standing to 1 mile any direction from you, it's gonna slope down 1 inch. The second mile is gonna be that squared. So you go 8 times 8 equals 30. Then you divide by 12, and that gives you like 2.5 feet, right, team? And then I know that 3 miles down, you go 3 times 3 is 9 times 8 inches per mile equals 72 inches. Then you divide by 12 to get how many feet? You end up with 6 feet. So in 3 miles, you already got 6 feet of Earth curvature. So I'm less than 6 feet tall. If you and me were standing 3 miles, you had a nice telescope, and let's say we're on the beach with our feet right on the water where the shore is coming in. 3 miles down, you cannot see me supposedly because of Earth curvature. That's how extreme it goes. Okay. Now, and I'll tell you this about, yeah.
I said not
yes.
Really. You need to check your math, buddy.
That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Please substantiate that.
You can check it, Fo. But now look, if you hold that telescope high, let's say you put the telescope up 100 feet, of course you can see further. But if you got that telescope, I think like, let's say 1 yard above the ground or 2 feet above the ground, okay, and you look down through, it's 2 feet above the ground, you look through that telescope and 9 miles down, you won't see me. Definitely 3.5 miles down, you won't see me. Okay. Now I'll tell you this. So this is what I want to ask you. If we shoot a bullet, I looked up a little bit about how far bullets can go. There's a rifle that can shoot. It's a sniper rifle or something. Are you aware of that, Fohammer? There's a rifle that can shoot. Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you.
5 miles?
5 miles?
Yeah. Is that
there are bullets that can go that far, yes, but the energy that they have is so insubstantial that they have no effect on target.
Okay, no, not that I wouldn't talk about target. This is what I'm going to bring up to you. Also, there's a rail gun. The Navy rail gun can as far as I understand, it can hit a target either 100 miles, 50 miles to 100 miles away. The Navy rail gun. Have you seen that thing? It's badass.
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
It is limited by the curve of the Earth. It is
what?
limited by the curve of the Earth.
Yeah. Okay. So let me throw this one at you, Fohammer. Now you had mentioned last week when we spoke, you asked me if you which bullet will hit the ground further, a slow moving big bullet or a fast moving lighter bullet. And then I got lucky and said they both hit at the same time, right? They both hit it. And so if you just held a bullet just the size of the barrel of the gun where it fired from and just let it go, if you put my hand right in the camera, right here. If I dropped the bullet at the exact same time it fired, if it fired from this high and I drop it, everything hits the ground at the same time, correct?
That is correct. Well, why does one go further than the other?
Well, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, well, okay. This is what I want to ask you though. I don't know that. You can tell me that. Well, one is lighter and faster. Okay, but this is what I want to bring to your. This want to bring to your attention. If a bullet can go 5 miles, then you got to deal with 16 feet of Earth curvature. So you're going to add 16 feet of drop time to that bullet. Now, if you drop that bullet from where you're standing here, let's say the rifle barrel is 5 feet above the ground and you let go of that bullet, okay? It's going to hit the ground at however long it takes to drop 5 feet. But as that bullet travels, curving at 8 inches per mile times the number of miles squared, that means if it goes for 5 miles, you have to account for a drop more than from the point the bullet fired. And it's going to take more time. You're going to get some goofy readings. You're gonna get some funny numbers. You should, if Earth is a ball, you should get some funny numbers and drop times of those bullets. You understand where I'm going with that?
Not particularly. I have a video right here, team, for one of the longest shots ever made. It is at 4,549 yards, or roughly 4,000 meters.
Which link is it? Which link is it in that email that you sent me, and I'll share that.
It's not in any of them. I pulled it up right now.
Do you want to shoot me that link real quick on Discord, and I'll bring it in for you so you can present it?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
So a page that I follow on YouTube is Hill Country Rifles. In it, they have one of the best snipers in the world, period. And you can watch how he calculates all of this. He's shooting a little over a mile, and this is about the limit that snipers can accurately shoot. 1 mile. I need to double check my math real quick.
Hold on, let me show you this picture. It's real important you understand this. Fo, you see my picture here? Okay, look.
Okay.
So, if Earth is flat, if Earth is, okay, I gotta orientate myself. If Earth is flat, and you shoot a bullet from there, and you drop, let's say you drop one from there, they're gonna, they're gonna hit the ground at the right time. But if Earth, the place you started the shot from is higher up than where that bullet is gonna end up. See what I'm saying? So it's gonna drop longer. There's no way around that one.
One, you're depicting a person with a handgun.
Huh?
Just my one, you're depicting a person with a handgun. First point of contention, nothing major. Second, when a bullet is traveling, it's not traveling so far that you actually have to take Earth curve into consideration for most shots. 1,000 meters is about the limit that 90% of people can shoot. So the calculations really aren't done very, very much. And I do have to correct myself earlier. I said it was a mile, a little over a mile. It was 2.5. So in this video, you will actually be able to see how they calculate for this. So, team, I'm going to forward this to you real quick. I already did.
Great. All right, let me grab that for you. Did you send it on email? Okay, I see it now. It just came in. Okay, give me 1 second to download that video, and I'll have it up for you. Go ahead.
So basically, the way that I'm going to draw my own shitty drawing. I'm a graduate of Team Skeptic's Drawing Academy, so.
Woohoo!
Oh, that doesn't show up very well. Okay, so this is the way you have to think of it more. It starts off with a gradual curve, and it gets a little bit more steep as you go. Whereas on a completely flat Earth, you would be completely right with your drawing. That doesn't meet what we see. There is more drop than can be accounted for on the flat Earth. Bullets can go further than on the flat Earth. And that is because the Earth does indeed curve. And there are snipers that do calculate this on a daily basis. If you want to know more about that, you can go to Sniper's Hide, which has some of the best snipers on the planet. And in fact, Hill County Rifles is on Sniper's Hide, and they do help with people calculating.
You said Sniper's Hide, right?
Yeah,
I think I heard
Hide.
about them. JM Truth actually told me at one point that he was a modified janitor for them. So Sniper's Hide, yeah, you're right.
JM would get kicked off of there in about 3.5 seconds.
Now I have that video loaded up for you. Are you ready to show that video? Would you like me just to play it and you can narrate it through it? I have it muted, so here you go.
Sure. I have not watched it recently, so
would you
I won't
prefer
be able
me
to
not to have
actually
it muted? Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Notice how little that place is. Notice how big the ground is. Ho-ho! Notice how high they shoot.
Shooter's ready. Send it when you're ready, Jim. Round out, round out, round out. Right there. All right, send it.
1 mile is equivalent to
Round out, round out,
1,700
round out.
feet. You can hit some miles and yards. Multiple like you made a blank by looking.
Okay. Send it.
Right to that rock.
On the burn. Oh, jeez. Big red rock.
Send another one.
Okay, red target.
Send another one. Straight on it. Straight on it. Oh, okay. Shit.
Hey, take the mill off and shoot.
Send the other one behind the yellow flag. The other one, send it.
Send it, send it, send it. Don't change nothing, send it. Send it.
Perfect elevation.
Send it.
Oh, okay.
Some variation.
Where?
Right by the yellow plate. We had a last string of fire. We finally got some good impact. We're within a mil of the target.
I'm sorry, I said that they calculated in this
right
one. I was
a little bit low.
wrong on
We've
that.
got rounds vectored into an area.
But they still were able to connect using very basic sniper's formulas, a Kestrel, bullet, Coriolis calculations, and ballistic computers. So, again, it's definitely not flat on that fact alone.
How do you? Wait, I don't. You lost me there. What are you trying to prove? They missed a lot, and
yes.
How are you? And the guy in the video I played said Coriolis really, you shouldn't think about it, and you're saying it proves the Earth is not flat. He did.
This is what he said, Vlad. This is exactly what he said. He said anything under than a click we cannot account for. So this is my hunting optic that I have. You can see that it has turrets. That's what these are called. And on these turrets, you can see that there are markings. I can't really show the markings from where you would see, but there's a 0 typically. And one click is that. Which means that we can calculate for it, and we do.
But for how far? Because they were shooting. They shot 3. Huh? How far did they shoot? 1,000 meters.
This one they were shooting at 4,549 meters, and they did take it into account.
They missed.
Yes, of course they missed. They're at 4,500 fucking meters, dude. That's not an insignificant distance to shoot.
But you're not proving anything one way or the other there. How do you? I mean, how does that prove?
First round impact proof?
Huh?
So because it's not a first round impact, it's not proof?
Well, you tell me, how does it, they're shooting at these targets and you're telling me some things, but how does it prove anything one way or the other? That's the part you're losing me on, buddy.
So, okay. Very basically, Coriolis is caused by the spin of the Earth. We apply this to every shot we take if we have time and if the distance is far enough. This is a thing that is done by every sniper. Now, I am not a sniper. I shoot long distance competitively. There is a big difference there. But I still take it into account for my competition. What I have to ask you is how can I calculate that drift better with the flat Earth model?
Well, you'd have to test. Somebody would have to go out there and take maybe 1,000 shots or 100 shots, and in the first 100 they take it in effect, and the second 100 they don't take it into account, and see what happens, and it's going to be all across the board. But let me ask you this: when they were shooting, one of those distances was 3 miles. Almost 3 miles, correct?
2.5, little over, yeah.
Little over 3 miles.
2.5.
2.5. Okay. Now, they were down low on the ground. They were down low.
Yep.
How high was the thing? It looked like the thing they're shooting on was kind of up on a hill. Where was the target? Was it on a hill?
So the target, it was. Give me just a second. I got to pull up that video again so I can actually.
It's like 4,600, right? 4,600 meters.
45, 49.
Yeah, something like that. I remember seeing it.
It was in a little bit of a valley. Not a very big one, just enough of one that it was easier for them to shoot at.
It was lower. It was lower than them.
Yep.
It was lower down.
Yep.
I wish I got a camera view from right over the hill. Is there a shot where we can see the landscape from right over his shoulder towards the target in that video?
I do not believe so.
I'm trying to picture how a valley would work with taking account Earth curvature. From how high his rifle is off the ground, he's less than a foot off the ground. You were definitely going to have 6 feet from his point where he is to where that target is. You're going to see that target. If Earth was a globe, that man can't see that target, Hammer.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Ask
Okay.
team. Ask team.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me, Vlad, because I'm trying to stay out of it. But I'm going to tell you something, my friend. You're wrong. But I am going to stay out of it. I'm only going to interrupt for moderation purposes. But you're so fucking wrong. I love you, man, but you're wrong.
Does the Earth curve 8 inches per mile times the number of miles squared? Yes or no? From 1 foot above the ground. If you're looking,
I'll say that's what I'll say, Vlad, is that's a good assumption for the distances we're talking about. Sure, that's a good assumption, but I think you're not understanding. Like, I don't think you're thinking in 3 dimensions here. If you were on a hill, let's say, and you were looking across a valley to another raised hill, then there would be nothing to obstruct your view. And even if there was a slight drop, you would still be able to see it because there's nothing there to obstruct your view.
Right.
So what you're saying, without seeing exactly the entire layout of the from the shooter to the target, we just don't know. But it appears to me as if they're firing from the top of some other elevated position to a target that's also at an elevated position. And at that point, there really wouldn't be anything in the way from you, keeping you from seeing it.
Well, yeah, that would have to be the case for them to see it. You're guessing, and I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, it is a fact. If they were on glass, if they were on flat, like if they're on the shore of the sea, on the seashore, and you put that target 3 miles away from that tree, if Earth is a globe, he can't see the target. He can't see it. That's how.
What?
Yeah, you can't see it because it's less than 6 feet. I mean, those guys standing next to the target, they're around 6 feet tall. That's their
Vlad,
chest.
can I just ask you one question? Just one question. I don't mean to interrupt or participate in this, but didn't you say that people standing at the beach can't fucking see each other 3 miles away? Like 3-4 miles away, they can't see each other. But you're telling us now that if it's flat, they should be able to see 4,500 meters, 4.5 kilometers? I mean, wouldn't that aren't your two arguments kind of contradicting one another?
Well, no. If we have a clear day on both cases, there's a flat Earth and there's a crystal clear day, no obstruction from the haze. Okay, on a globe, you can't see if you're 1 foot, that shooter his rifle's 1 foot above the ground. And I'm standing 3 miles away. I'm less than 6 feet. He can't hit me because I'm below the Earth's curve. You can't hit me. On a flat, as long as there's no fog in the way, he could direct hit me. He could shoot me.
So
I mean, it would bounce off my chest. It would bounce off my chest, but he could ding it. He could ding one right off my dome. He could bounce one off my dome.
Sorry. First thing I have to say about that is, one, bullets follow the curve of the Earth to an extent, due to it keeping the same velocity the Earth has. They're not traveling around the curve, but they have an arc. Bullets arc.
How much the Earth arcs on each case?
I'm sorry, say that again. You kind of broke up there a little bit.
The bullets exact amount the Earth arcs every time?
No, not exactly.
So you can't make that argument. You know.
How can I not? That's what bullets do.
Well, because I'm not talking about right now the ability of the bullet to reach the target. I'm talking about the ability of the shooter to even see the target. You see in a straight line. Don't tell me your eyesight curves. You see in a straight line. If Earth curves, you can 8 inches come out. Yeah, if you Google that, don't take my word on it. Go download the Earth curve calculator from Google. Earth curvature calculator.
Sorry,
yeah. You can. Man, team is having a meltdown over there. Team.
Well, team has two idiots arguing with each other. So.
Oh no! This is amazing. This is you. If you crack me up, Vlad. I love you, man. You crack me up.
I told you I was going to convert your boy. He's coming to flat Earth, man.
No,
me and Hammer we're gonna party down.
I'll have a party with you, Vlad. I'll have a beer with you, Vlad. But you're not converting me. You're a fairly nice guy, and I do like talking to you.
All right, but I'll tell you, Hammer. If you're right, you will convert me. If you convince me, you'll convert me. I want the truth.
Okay. So here's the thing.
So if I convince you, what do you're going to be stubborn? You won't. If I give you, you know what I'm saying? You won't. No matter what, you won't convert, even if the Earth is flat.
Oh no! If the Earth is definitely flat, you can prove it. Then I will convert. So here's the thing. I've got two things for you. First one. Next year, I am doing an experiment on Yatvos and Coriolis. As soon as COVID's done, I will be doing it.
Yeah.
Team's going to be there. Fight might be there. A couple other people are going to be there. I have a couple snipers who are my friends who are going to be there. You're invited too.
Yeah.
If you would like to go.
Yeah. Where are you going to do it? Where?
It will be in Michigan, where I reside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll fly out to California and come pick you up, man. I'll come fly out there and pick you up, Vlad, and we'll go spend a weekend in Michigan, post-COVID.
Now
you're gonna get to shoot a ton of guns, drink a ton of whiskey.
Now you're talking, man. If that's the deal, count me in.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. This was there's a comment in the chat that says, Vlad, you're going to be the target. So
I'm not.
I just had to point it out.
Don't give me ideas.
And some guys that I figured out later didn't like me, invited me to go shooting. I might not be here right now. They want to take me out to the desert. And long story short, that guy slashed my tires before he moved to Arizona. He didn't like. There's reasons that he thought he had. He didn't like me, but what a coward, huh? He could have challenged me to go. We could have went in the alley. We could throw it down man to man, but he didn't have the balls to do that. But I don't think I'd have made it back from that shooting trip. Yeah, thank God. Anyway,
don't worry.
But
I won't be shooting.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing the experiment though, because those things need to be done. Our generation is doing it because we're confronted with this stuff. We're questioning it. So a lot of things other people didn't do. I like to see our generation doing these experiments. I've done some experiments too. I've got videos on my channel where I've done things too. So I'm glad you're doing that, Hammer.
Now, the next thing I have to ask you, so this is an optical illusion. I will let you in on that. These are two AK-47 magazines. They are held at the exact same distance away from each other. Which one of these is bigger, Vlad? Probably this one.
Yeah, that one looks bigger. Yeah, it does look bigger. Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah, looks a lot smaller.
Probably this one?
Yeah.
Human
that looks
perception
bigger.
is whack. Don't bring it up again.
Huh?
I said human perception is whack. Don't bring it up again. No. So humans have a hard time with perception. Our eyes are not designed to handle it.
Right.
So while your claim that it's hard for people to see at 3 miles is demonstrably false. I bring up Red's Rhetoric's blink test. I think Tampa Bay. He was able to see 26. Everything was cut off at the bottom, but he was able to see 26 miles with a camera. So human perception sucks.
Yeah. Okay, but I'll tell you. Okay, I hear what you're saying. You're not understanding. What you're not understanding.
No, I'm not. I really am not.
Yeah. What you need to. What's important for you to understand is if you're standing on the tippy top of a sphere. Okay. If you're standing on the tippy top of the globe, okay, there comes a point when you can't see behind the curve.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So it's not that you can't see it has nothing to do with your perception or the thing you showed me with the rifle bear. What are those called? The magazines? That's a cool trick. You got to tell me how you did that. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with that. Hold on, buddy. What it's got to do with is the simple fact that there's a physical barrier, which is the curvature of the earth, which simply is like a wall. It doesn't allow you to see past a certain point because the ground is gone, and the stuff that's on the ground beyond that curve is hidden from your sight because
Yes, no, I'm well aware of that. At 3 miles, you can still see.
No, I'm telling you, brother. No, brother, I'm telling you, don't take it from me. Go to Google and download the Earth Curve calculator, Earth Curvature calculator. You will see it's 8 inches per mile times the number of miles squared. Now it's not that if you're a mile above the ground, you'll see a lot further, but it changes according to how high your eye level is above the earth. But if you're 1 foot above the earth like that shooter was, you're definitely in the 8 inches per mile times the number of miles squared range. And a shooter cannot see me if I'm 3 miles away on the shore of the sea. Now, if we're between two valleys, like if I'm on a hilltop and he's on a hilltop and there's a valley, he could see. But I'm saying if we're on flat ground on the beach by the water on your globe, a rifle 1 foot above the ground can't see me if I'm only 3 miles away because of your Earth's curvature. That's ridiculous. By the way, that's not true because he could see me because there is no 8 inches per mile times the number of miles squared. You could see me. You could do that experiment, Hammer, beach, and set up some targets 4 miles away or 3. I don't know how far you can. Well, you might get in trouble shooting on the beach, but find a place. Because and keep in mind when you do your experiment, keep in mind the Earth curvature equation. Keep that in mind.
I found the Earth curve equation. H equals R times 1 minus cosine times A. That is the Earth curve equation. 90% sure, unless I messed that up or misread that. So it's not 8 inches per mile divided by the number of miles, and I forgot where you went for the rest of that.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, brother, I don't know where you pulled the one you just got, the age something. I never heard that before. We all know it's 8 inches per
You
mile.
cut out there, buddy.
It is that. If I'm wrong, come back and.
Hey, Vlad, can I just give you a Vlad, can I just give you a picture real quick to look at? I want to give you a basic like I want to show you a basic understanding of what that shape of that equation comes out to be. But give me 1 second to pull up the paint,
parabola,
because you know I do I do amazing paint here. So let me show you this real quick. When you plot out 8 inches per mile squared, you get a thing that looks similar to this. Okay, so the Earth like that means that for a small portion of this, you're going to get roughly the same numbers, right? But as you deviate further and further away from the original point, you're going to start the equation's going to get more and more out of line. Okay, you're going to end up having, it's what's called a parabola, like he was saying. Now, the equation that Fohammer was quoting, and you know, I didn't want to fact check that right there just off the top of my head, but if it's the equation for the Earth curve that he was quoting, then those numbers that you get for 8 inches per mile squared are going to be roughly the same as what he gets using this equation.
Okay, that's fine.
If you wanted to find it like right here, your equation would be off, and his equation would still be defining the shape of a sphere. So I just want to point that out. Okay, go ahead.
How many miles does my equation?
Roughly, I think about 500 to 600. At about 500 to 600 miles, it begins to deviate too much to be a useful mathematical representation of the surface of the Earth.
But you can still see at 3 miles well enough to hit your target because it's been done.
Vlad, are you there? Yo, Vlad. Did my paint scare him off?
I mean, it would scare everybody off.
We'll give him a chance to rejoin. Let me email him and tell him to rejoin on the same link.
Oh, perfect. I just got a link for from JL on the correct formula that I quoted. And we would see somewhere about between 2.6 feet and 16.67 feet, but the 16.67 feet that Vlad was quoting was at 5 miles, not 3.
Yeah, there's also another thing. I need to pull up paint because for the people that are watching in the chat, I do want to point out where Vlad's one of Vlad's flaws were in his argument. Just kind of, so if you have somebody, let's say you have the curve. Oh wait, hold on, my bad. Let me get this back up.
And I won't lie, I'm not that great with math, so yeah, that was not something that I can easily refute off the top of my head.
Okay, so while we wait for Vlad to come back in, I just want to show everybody what Vlad is getting wrong. And this is a common mistake by people, right? So let's say this is your curved surface, and you have a person here, and you have a person here, right? You don't measure the drop from this person to that person when you're doing line of sight. You measure the drop from right here. So, because this is where your line of sight touches the Earth. The Earth begins to block your sight. So you don't actually measure it from here, you measure it from here. And that's one of the things. So when I was talking about you wouldn't see me, that's not necessarily true. Because if your eyeball, like if your eyeball right here, was right here on the surface of the Earth, then yeah, absolutely there would be some issues. Or I guess like right here on the surface of the Earth. But since you are at an elevated position, your eyesight will form a tangent with the surface of the Earth, and that's where it begins to block your vision. You know, so when they're talking about the drop, they're really talking about the drop from this point, not this point.
Point to point.
And
okay,
I just wanted to I just wanted to clarify that because Vlad was he was making a point, and I don't want to discredit his point, but that
It
point
was a good
needed to
point.
be clarified. Yeah, it needs to be clarified. Now I don't know if Vlad's coming back. Let me see. I sent him an email saying come on back, but he seems to not be coming back. We'll give him a moment to join. I think you're doing fine, Fohammer.
Thank you.
Honestly,
I mean, it is my first. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry, team.
well, I didn't want to interrupt too much because I want to give everybody a chance to be their own person. You know, you seem very capable of handling this topic, and I just wanted to let you have your own day. You know, I think moderators interrupt too much these days, and the silent moderator is very necessary. So
Silent Team
we'll
Skeptic
give
is a good
the
skeptic.
silent team
What?
skeptic. Somebody did point out that they wanted Vlad to cut his mic off, not because they were irritated with the clipping, but just because they wanted to cut his mic off so he didn't have to hear him anymore. But yeah, so
Yeah, sorry.
you're doing a great job though, Fohammer. You're doing a really good job. Like I said, let's give him a second to get back in here so you guys can finish this up. But I mean, you haven't really covered his moon stuff yet, which is a little bit more physics-based. It's physics-based, but I'm going to give you the chance to do that too, because I only think it's fair that you stepping into this debate, you should be able to handle that as well. So I won't be speaking up during that time. But Vlad had, the one thing I'll say is I appreciate this, okay? I appreciate Vlad at least trying to present something. Too many times we get flat earthers on that just don't even attempt to present any evidence or anything that would support the position that they claim to hold. And at least Vlad's presenting the position. So we'll give him a chance to come back on because I don't want to just cut him off like that. He hasn't even responded to my email. I think my artwork really did scare him. It was the moment I pulled Paint 3D out, he said deuces and just left. But he didn't leave. I'm just giving him a hard time right now. Of course he didn't leave.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's technical issues on his part. It's not really.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably has a combination of shitty internet, a mediocre at best computer, and mediocre parts. Yeah. Like his mic, his camera.
Yeah, well, let's see. He hasn't responded yet to me. Well, that's unfortunate, man. Shit. We're having such a good conversation.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I believe that it was cordial. I'm trying not to interrupt. That's relatively difficult. I think he finishes a point, and I have a little bit of a delay. So halfway through my sentence, he picks back up, and I feel like a dick.
No. You guys are fine. Y'all aren't cutting each other off at all. So,
but Vlad asked how I did this with my magazines. As you notice, they are exactly the same size. It's when you turn them sideways that they look different. But if you match corner to corner, so this to this, they line up. From the lip to the lip, they line up.
That's such a crazy optical illusion right there. That is an insane optical illusion. It is. It's perception, and it's also like what we expect to see when we're looking at those things. The immediate thing we see, we're like, oh yeah, the one on the right's bigger than the one on the left, and then do it right, real quick. Just swap them around in your hand from left to right hand and show how one begins to look bigger than the other just because it's in the other hand.
Sorry, these are ribbed for your pleasure.
Oh man, that's such a cool fucking optical illusion, man.
And again, they're the same size. I'm not a magician.
Let me see if he's emailed me yet. I just told him to rejoin on the link. Oh, wait, hold on. He says nothing. He's trying to rejoin, but nothing's happening. Let me,
yeah, Vlad's in the chat.
A new link. Okay, Vlad in the chat, man. I'm sending you a new link right now. I don't know what happened to that link, but check your email. I'm sending it to you right now.
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with Vlad. So a lot of people get Spindrift confused with Coriolis, and Spindrift is the drift from the rifling of
The Magnus effect.
Yep. So I actually have one of my components. This is the barrel to an AR-15. You can see right here, that's where it indexes into the receiver. This is called the barrel extension. From right about here forward, it starts a twist. One rotation every 8 inches. This causes a visible deviation due to it twisting to the right as it comes out the barrel. Every 8 inches, there's one rotation. There is such thing as spindrift, and it does happen, and it is a relatively small thing like Coriolis. I never claimed Coriolis was big. It's a very small effect. It's roughly 2 inches at 1,000 meters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even like a 3 to 5 mile an hour breeze is gonna actually have more of an effect on a bullet than the Coriolis will. That's why the guy said in the video that the Coriolis is only really relevant on like a perfectly clear, perfectly calm day. Then you might see some deviation if you're shooting at a long enough distance. But if there's any wind whatsoever or anything like that, then what you're going to end up happening is, while there will still be a Coriolis effect there, that Coriolis effect is going to almost be like minimal compared to any other force that's being put on that bullet by wind or resistance or anything else. So yeah, it's something that you have to take into effect. And the guy says in the video, it's kind of mystified, you know, when people talk about Coriolis, because it's like it's not something everybody knows about. It's when people talk about it, it's like, oh, it's a fictitious force and this and that. So Vlad, you're back. Good deal. Good deal. We didn't want to lose you. Vlad. So good deal. I'm glad you're back. You still have some moon evidence to talk about. So let's get through the ballistics. Let me step back out of here. I'll turn it back to you guys, and love you, chat.
He beat me up with the gun.
I thought I scared you off with my artwork.
Yeah, well, what were you saying? For how long is mile calculation good for, team? According to what you were saying there, how many miles am I good for with that equation?
I mean, off the top of my head, I think it's somewhere around between 500 and 1,000 miles.
Well, that's more than enough.
Yeah. For what we're talking about, yeah, 8 inches per mile squared will give you roughly the same answer, but it doesn't mean that it's exact. You know, once you get to a far enough distance, it's no longer exact, and you'd have to actually to describe the curvature different. 3 miles.
From 3 miles on the beach. This sniper down here, that just pumped off a shot, can't see me on your Earth.
So there's two things with that, Vlad. Your 16 feet that you quoted, you did quote that, right? 16 feet at 3 miles?
That's if it's 5 miles, it would be 16 feet. 16 feet if it's 5 miles. If it's 3 miles, it's 6 feet. Yeah, it's crazy.
So you are confusing something that's hidden with something that is what's the term for it? Hidden and curve, basically.
It's hidden. You can't see it. If Earth is curved, you can't see me from 3 miles away on the beach. That's a fact. From his eye level. If you went up 10 feet, you could see me. But from where he was down there, you can't see me on your Earth. That's a fact.
It's 6 miles point to point. You start calculating halfway, where your eye line meets the horizon.
No, because then means you live like no. That well, if you turn around, it's 6 feet. It would be 3 miles the other way. Yeah, it's 3 miles any way you point. It's 3 miles to the side, 3 miles in front of you, 3 miles to the other side, 3 miles behind you. Anyway, 3 miles away from you on the beach, close to the water. that sniper can't even see me on your Earth.
I'm telling you right now that I've seen targets that are 3 miles away or more.
Welcome
Not
to
only
Flat
that.
Earth. Welcome.
Nope.
Hold on, listen. Welcome to Flat Earth, my friend.
I explained to you how it works.
That one made me
Yeah, I
laugh,
know you
Vlad.
know
That one made me
But-
laugh.
Sure you
That did make me laugh.
have. That's the coup d'etat.
It really isn't, though.
He took a big old
So, Vlad, we're left with two things.
I'd have took a big drag too if I was him on that one, man.
We're left with two things, buddy.
Okay,
We're left with a flat disc that rotates. Or we're left with a globe. I mean, it's as simple as that with Coriolis. And yeah,
hold on. Start, Fo. You said yourself, you've seen further than 3 miles. Okay, that's
with an optic.
not possible. That's not possible on a globe.
Is it not?
Unless you were looking across the Grand Canyon or something. But if nice flat ground, you can't.
I was elevated. Yes, I was elevated. So don't get me wrong. I was elevated, but I did see more than 3 miles. So again, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying
I'll
here.
tell you, flat. Fo, how can you not be sure what I'm saying? I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is simple. A monkey can understand. That sniper right there, who's got the barrel of the gun 1 foot off the ground, if he's on the beach and me, I'm less than 6 feet. I'm 3 miles down the seashore. He can't see me. He wouldn't know where to shoot. He wouldn't on your Earth. He cannot see me.
So these guys are at 2.5 miles, just over, and they can still see their target.
Look, I don't know the type of land. Look again, for where they are shooting at. Like Team said, it might be a valley shooting from one peak to another. I don't know how the landscape is.
I said that.
Okay, that's fine. If that's the case, he can see it. But what I'm telling you, on your Earth, on a flat plane, which I like to use. The example of the seashore, because you have got water level right there, nice flat water, which either follows the curve of the Earth or Earth is flat. On the seashore, he can't see me under 6 feet. I'm like, he can see me.
Okay, so first off, he's not.
We all know that's ridiculous. It doesn't matter I'm saying if it was a flat, if he's on your Earth. On the beach, you can't see me 3 miles away. You could do that experiment. You don't have to shoot each other. Just get a telescope. I should have done that experiment, but I'm too busy, man. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I should get a telescope or my P900 and go down to Venice Beach. And from the Santa Monica Pier to the Pier Marina Del Rey is 3 miles. And if I have 1 foot in the water, and I have a partner with his foot in the water at the pier at the Marina Del Rey. If we see each other, guess what? Earth is flat. If we can't not see each other, then I prove you guys are right. I mean that's an easy one. That simple as pie. That experiment right there. All you need is a clear day and a couple P900s to prove because you don't. Earth is there. Everyone always says, "Oh, Earth is so big." You don't notice the curve. It's not that big. And according to Earth, curvature is extreme on a sphere. A sphere has an extreme curvature. Only 3 miles, and you already can't because we're small. We're like little ants. So anyway, enough about that. I want to talk to you about that eclipse right there.
Yeah, let's move on to the eclipse. Go ahead, Vlad.
Well, so what we know and I know as an artist, I went to art school. I know as an artist, I know about light and shade. A shadow cannot be smaller than the object casting it. When a plane flies overhead, we've all seen that shadow like zoom by quickly. Like sometimes you're driving a car, but you might just be walking down the sidewalk and the plane goes overhead and you see its shadow like zoom by the street where you're on. Like it'll be kind of a little bit of a blurry shadow, but it's the same size as that plane. You don't see like a little quarter sized outline of an airplane like your shoe when you look down. No, it's like the same size. So you can do it with your hand also. If you put your hand above the ground and the sun is bright, clear day, and you lift your hand up, you'll see that the shadow of your hand is always the same size. If you lift it up high enough, faded looking like that, like what we're seeing there, and then if you go really, really high, there's no more shadow. Okay, that's how it works. You're never gonna end. You're never gonna like see your hand this big, and then the outline you'll see like a copy of your hand this big as a shadow. Like that's never gonna happen. Okay, so keeping that in mind, same works for everything around us. If this is the moon, the sun goes behind the moon goes in front of the sun during an eclipse. We know the path of totality was 70 miles on that day. So that entire shadow from end to end is 70 miles wide. Same law of physics applies here. Now, your side will say, you see how there's a darker part in that shadow, Fo? See that darker part?
Yeah.
Okay, so your side likes to say, well, that shadow, that 70-mile wide shadow is only the umbra. The penumbra was 2,000 miles wide because the moon is miles wide. So that means the entire United States was kind of in a shadow of the penumbra, but we didn't see that. We only umbra from the weather balloon. But I'm telling you right now, and anybody can see it clear as day, and whoever's honest will admit it. See umbra and penumbra within the entire perimeter of that shadow. There's the umbra right there, the darkest part. It zooms back towards the sun as the sun moves, as the moon moves across one way, the sun moves the other way. And then that faded part of the shadow is the penumbra, which is the anatomy of a shadow. There's an anatomy of a shadow. Umbra, penumbra, antumbra. Entire shadow, it's called, like a body is a body. The anatomy of a body has many parts. That entire shadow, including all three parts, only 70 miles wide. The moon cannot be more than 70 miles wide. That's death for your side.
Not particularly.
Tell me why not.
So there are videos of shadows being smaller than the objects. Team, I have a video that is explaining shadows and the anatomy of them. And they do show shadows getting bigger and smaller.
You ready for me to play that video?
Yes, please.
All right,
Simon Dan has also done something similar to this.
All right,
where he took
well, I'm sorry, you can keep talking. Yeah, I'll turn the audio down so you can keep talking. I'm sorry.
One of the people in our community, I believe it was Mr. Sensible, did an experiment where he was on a ladder. They had a circle marked in tape or something, I'm not sure what it was. And as they moved it closer, they had a ball. They moved the ball closer and further away. The shadow changed size. So not particularly. Shadows are shadows are shadows. And you can see it distort, and you can see the penumbra.
Are you seeing the video okay, Vlad?
Yeah, I like that video. It proves my point.
Huh?
Not particularly. And team, here's another one from Simon Dan. Timestamp for 9 minutes 35 seconds.
I'm sorry, I was talking. I'm muted. Yeah, I'm loading that up right now. Where did you say the timestamp was on it?
9 minutes, 35 seconds. Yes, 35 seconds.
All right, give me 1 second to get us there.
Oh, that's good. He outlined it.
So as you can see, that shadow is not leaving the video. We can still see it. So he's not changing anything. And
Zoom
it's
back
smaller.
No, it's not. Zoom back into that.
Just saying.
Okay, there.
Of course, there are people that say Umbra because, like goats, they've been trained to.
Well, that looks like Steve Turley. Put it back to exactly when he goes to the farthest point, and then kind of freeze it within the perimeter of the outline he drew, if you can, so we could talk about it. Right there. Okay. Okay. So
And
you want to talk? You want to talk, or you want me to? Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying before, there's an umbra and there's a penumbra. In the video of the weather balloon, we saw a dark part of the shadow of the moon, which kind of moved across within the perimeter of the entire shadow anatomy of the shadow itself. There was umbra and penumbra. We saw the umbra kind of move within that perimeter as the moon and sun moved. There was a dark part and there was a light part. So let me ask you, Hammer, do you see a dark?
I'm sorry, cutting in and out. I heard, do you see a dark? And then cut out from there.
Can't believe it, man. Can you see a dark part of that shadow?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see a light part of the shadow?
I can see a light part of the shadow on the person's arms and fingers, and it looks like there's a tiny bit around the object that he is holding.
Right. So,
but it's still small.
That light part of the tiny bit of light part that you see around the object he's holding, is it touching the outline perimeter which he drew? Is it touching that line?
No.
Smaller. Huh?
It does not appear to be, no.
Touching the line. So where?
I see a very
right. That's about the dark part of the shadow, Fo. That's the umbra. I'm talking about the penumbra. The other part of the shadow is the umbra. The entire shadow. Okay, so that light part of the shadow, which is called the umbra, which is the shadow. So I'll say the shadow. Is that shadow around touching? Is it lining up with that drawing he did of the original object?
More or less, yes. But again,
it is.
The umbra is smaller, which was what your point was with the moon video.
No, my point was that you guys like to say because the umbra is smaller, that's an optical illusion. Is smaller. The umbra is smaller. That's what you guys like to say. The truth is that a shadow is umbra and penumbra. Now, when he brought that sphere close to the paper, he drew the outline so that he copied the size of that sphere with a pencil.
Of the Umbra, correct.
He traced it, right? Okay, right? He traced it. So we know how big that sphere is. Now, that shadow you're looking at, including Umbra and Penumbra, is it smaller than that outline or the same size?
It is the same size.
I rest my case.
But you're not resting anything. The shadow is still a different size. The Umbra is still different.
What's making the Umbra?
Well, hold on, Vlad, hold on. Give him a chance to answer. Go ahead, Fohammer.
Your point was that shadows do not change. This is over a couple of feet. The moon is hundreds of thousands of miles away.
Wrong.
The sun, millions. Team, how far away is it again? 250,000 miles, I believe, off the top of my head.
It's somewhere around there. I know it better in kilometers, and it's 93 million for the sun.
The sun.
Let me
the
get
moon
the
is
exact number on the moon.
The moon is 238,000 miles away, supposedly, according to the disinformation.
Okay, so I was still within a couple percentage of error.
Yeah, like 240,000 miles, we'll say.
So, again, the shadow is different.
The shadow.
Yeah, Vlad. I want to point out you did say that an object cannot cast a shadow smaller than its own size, and he went and measured out the size, and then he pulled it away. It got smaller. Now, if he keeps pulling it away, it stands to reason that it would get smaller and smaller and smaller until there was no. I'm sorry.
What got smaller? What got smaller? The shadow.
The Umbra.
The Umbra. But is the Umbra the shadow?
The shadow would be the Umbra and Penumbra together, but it's made up of two things. Go ahead.
So is the Umbra and Penumbra together, which makes up the shadow, just like a body is a head and a body. So the Umbra and Penumbra, are they smaller than that outline of the original object?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is the shadow
kind of cut out?
Okay, the shadow, the anatomy of the shadow we know includes Umbra and Penumbra. Is the shadow smaller than the outline of the object?
No, in fact, actually, I was looking a little bit closer. The Penumbra looks like it is outside the circle. So again, it changed.
Right. It's maybe even a little bigger. The Penumbra can go even a little fuzzier. Some of the fuzz goes even a little bigger. The shadow will begin to fade out. So it goes, the closer you are, it's going to be a very crispy shadow. It's going to be like a perfect copy of the object. The further you get, it gets more and more faded because light's starting to eat up the edge of that shadow. It's starting to creep into the area that's blocking the sun. The light's starting to creep in to it. But the way it fizzles out, the part of that penumbra is going to actually be a little bigger than the object was, but never smaller.
That wasn't your original point.
No, my point was that a shadow, including Umbra and Penumbra, is never smaller than the object casting it. And this proves what I'm saying.
Not particularly.
How so?
So again, your point was that shadows do not decrease in size. The Umbra is the part that is actually physically blocking light. So
no, the Penumbra is not the only part. You guys like to separate the two. You can fit a human body in a beer cooler, like an ice box. I'll say, what do you mean in an ice box? Yeah, you can put the head in there. I'm like, well, the head, yeah, you can put the head in, but you're saying a human body can fit in a box that can hold like a 6-pack of beer. You say, yeah, the human body. And then I go, what do you mean? You say, well, the head, the umbra, the umbra can fit in there. The umbra is small enough. The umbra is small enough to fit in the ice box. The umbra is smaller than the object casting it. You can't have umbra without penumbra. You have a shadow. You understand what I'm saying, Fo?
Vlad, can I ask you something about just a little bit about your understanding of the umbra-penumbra configuration? Tell me, if you were standing inside of the umbra, how much of the sun could you see during an eclipse?
If you're in the shadow.
No, if you're in the umbra. If you're in the umbra, how much of the sun can you see?
Look, you want to talk about the point of view from the ground.
No. Just answer the question. I need to understand I'm asking you a qualifying question here because I need to make sure you understand what the difference between the umbra and penumbra is. If you're standing within the umbra, let's say you're dead center of the umbra, how much of the sun can you see and why?
Okay, I'll answer your question, but what I see you guys doing here now, you're trying to take us down another road because what you don't like how I'm winning the argument with a very simple truth. So you want to take a side road.
Well, I don't think you're winning. But I just want to know. Okay, let me ask you, Fohammer. If you're standing within the umbra, because Vlad's not answering it, so let me ask you, Fohammer. If you're standing within the umbra, and the very center of the umbra, and you look up, how much of the sun can you see and why?
None of it, because it's all being physically blocked by the object.
Okay, now if you're standing in the penumbra, and I'll give this one to you, Vlad. If you're standing in the penumbra, how much of the sun can you see and why?
Oh, just like in the video. I'm looking in the video. You can see some of the sun as it comes out the other side.
You can see some of the sun. Correct. You can see some of the sun. Now, what does that mean about your line of sight regarding the moon and the sun? What does that mean?
You're looking at something above you from an angle. You can see around the object that's not small enough to obstruct your view.
Okay, correct. And that's why if the moon gets further away, the umbra gets smaller. If the moon gets closer, the umbra gets larger. That's what Fohammer's trying to point out to you here. Okay, it's not the shadow, the size of the shadow is always going to be larger than the umbra itself. It's always going to be an umbra-penumbra configuration based on from the surface of the earth, the angular size of the moon, the angular size of the sun, and your position on the line of sight. No matter anywhere inside of that umbra that you're standing, the moon is completely covering the sun from your perspective, from where you're standing out on the sun or on the surface of the earth. The moon is completely blocking out the sun there. Nobody inside of that shadow can see the sun at all. And this is simply a geometry. This is basic geometry right now. So that's why I was asking you what if you understood why that we have the umbra and penumbra and how it relates to the configuration of the sun and the moon from the surface of the earth, as well as the size of both objects too.
All right. Okay. Well, you're saying if you're in the penumbra, you can look up and see the light source, right? I don't have a problem.
A portion of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's slice this another way. Let me ask Hammer, in that image, you see a shadow and then you see the earth around it. Are you looking at sunlit earth beyond the shadow? The shadow which includes the umbra, and agree or disagree that you're looking at sunlit earth?
There is sun there, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I got news for and penumbra, which compose the entire shadow you're looking at there, was 70 miles wide. And that shadow, again, which is made up of umbra and penumbra, has nothing but sunlit earth around it. So, but okay, so that gives you a small moon, because you have a shadow that's 70 miles wide with sunlit earth all over. The moon to be as big as you guys say the entire sunlit Earth would need to be in shadow at that point, which would be like thousands of miles. Almost the entire United States would need to. There would be a moment where it was in complete darkness.
You also have to keep in mind that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and what I'll tell you, if you really want to look at it in perspective, if you Google path of totality on Google Images, you'll see the path of totality is this tiny little dot. It looks like about the size of a city when you look at cities on the map of the United States. Like here's Los Angeles, here's Chicago, here's New York. It's represented by a dot. That dot is how big the shadow looked in comparison to the rest of the United States. That was your shadow. But what you guys need to fit your model would be the entire United States covered with a shadow that big, as big as the entire United States. That's what you guys need. The Umbra is never going to, even if you want to just play the game, oh, it's only the Umbra, there's no such thing as a penumbra. The Umbra is never going to be as big as a dot compared to the United States. Like in the experiment the guy did, Simon Dan, a little smaller. You need it way smaller than that. You'd need that Umbra if you want to play that game, and not let's forget about the numbers part of that game. That Umbra would need to be the size of a green pea, the kind Mama cooks. Those little green peas. You'd have to make the Umbra that big. I'd like to see him make it that big. He can't. The shadow would fizzle out if he got that far. It'd fizzle out.
Yeah,
that doesn't work for you guys either. Yeah, I mean that doesn't work for you guys either.
So the sun, you have to keep in mind something about our model real quick. The sun is bigger than the moon is. This means that you have light which more or less is parallel due to our distance hitting the moon. But it's also coming at slight angles. Therefore, it is also smaller there. So that in combination with distance means that the shadow is smaller.
Okay, so can you demonstrate that with your hand? Make a copy of your hand, because the sun is doing the same, is bigger than your hand too. So
yes,
by your logic, your hand like teeny tiny, like the size of a pea, also but a pretty nice looking. Make her that big of your hand. It would be a nice, because I know what you're saying. It's coming down this way, but it never works out that way, Fo. If you raise your hand high up enough, it just fizzles out to nothing. But the size of that shadow of your hand never becomes like teeny tiny.
Again, how big is the sun and how big is your hand?
Well, it's more extreme than the difference between the sun and the moon. You'd get more of an effect if it worked. It doesn't work that way. The beams come down straight. It comes down straight, and you get a copy of your hand the same size, like you need it to be.
I've had shadows that are bigger than I am, and I've had shadows that are smaller than I am. I'm not exactly sure what your point here is.
You can make a shadow bigger if you hold a flashlight. Like if you're playing in your room, you got somebody, a sleepover, you're little, you make your hand real big on the ceiling with the flashlight, but you're never gonna make your hand teeny tiny. I mean, do it. You like to do experiments. Show me, Fo. Simon Dan tried to do it. He failed. You said yourself the entire shadow is the same size as that perimeter he drew. The entire shadow was.
But again,
the
penumbra, or I'm sorry, not the penumbra. The umbra is a different size.
Irrelevant. The shadow is made umbra. The umbra got a little smaller. That's fine. But the penumbra, you can't have a body without a head. You can't have a shadow umbra. You have a shadow, you got umbra and penumbra, so you can't exclude one. You can't eliminate one. The umbra was smaller, but also the shadow matched up perfectly with that outline.
It didn't match up perfectly.
It like you said, it was a little bigger.
the Umbra was a little bit bigger. But again, your original point was that you cannot change the size of a shadow in totality. That was your original point when we started this.
Listen, Fo. Listen now. It's clear what I'm saying. If you want to split it here, I'm never saying it's exactly there's a little, like you showed the distortion with the guns. I like that, the way you showed. You know, the shadow gets fuzzy. It's going to be a little. It looks to be a little bit bigger. A little. It's hard to tell. It gets fuzzy, but you're never going to get a 70-mile wide from a 2,000-mile wide object. It's not going to happen. Or from get a circle that's 20 inches and play with it in your backyard. Make it. I don't know how I don't know. I'd have to do the math. Go from 2,000 miles. The moon is 2,159 miles wide. You have a 70-mile wide path of totality according to Google. Okay. Try to recreate that. Go in your bed. You know, maybe get a 20-centimeter paper cutout or ball. Get a ball and try to. You know, you're never gonna get it. I did an experiment where I set up a model and I flashed a nice big shadow. I did a model according to the sizes of Earth and the moon, and I just used our own sun. But the shadow that I flashed on that Earth in that model, and the moon was the right distance from the Earth, and I used the sun for my sunlight. That the shadow that I cast on the Earth model was covering the size of the United States, as it should, if your model is correct. But we didn't see that. We saw this. What you're looking at with your own eyes, little shadow.
Okay, so
and Simon Dan showed you this. You know, his shadow. Yeah, there it is. You know, that shadow, that little. You know, try to recreate that in real life. Get it.
I don't have a moon, so I can't. I also don't have an Earth, so I can't.
Vlad, I'm going to tell you, Vlad, it's really simple. Just take a ping pong ball, glue it to the top of a pencil on top of the eraser, go stand at a wall, put the ball right up next to the wall, and then slowly start pulling that ball away. And you'll notice the dark spot gets smaller and smaller and smaller until there's no dark spot left at all. At some point, you'll pull that ball away, a ping pong ball, so far away that there's no umbra. It's all penumbra. Because anything on the other side of that ping pong ball can see some portion of the sun because of the angular size of the ping pong ball relative to the wall, you know.
Yeah, right. But broski, that shadow we're looking at on the weather balloon, it's not such a faded shadow like the one you're talking about creating. It's pretty. It shows that the object casting the shadow is not that far. At one point, when it's a total eclipse, that shadow is nice and sharp. The umbra is like taking up most of the space. It's not that far. Now look, I made a video. I'm going to email you my video right now. I did a 1-minute video with no talking. It just shows the experiment I'm talking about. I'm email it to you right now. You'll see how big.
I'll load it up.
You'll see how big the shadow should look. Because I got all my. I'm emailing it to you right now.
AT2 is also recreating it.
Gmail changed their logo. I keep not finding it.
I know.
Gmail,
right? It threw me off too. It threw me off too.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Did it come through, team?
It hadn't yet, but I'm sure it just needs a second. Let's see. Ah, just came through. Okay. Give me one.
All right, sweet.
Second. All right, hold
there
on.
It is.
I gotta pull it up for you guys. Oh yeah, you're looking at it here, but hold on. I'll get it. Let me get it in here properly.
Yeah, it's a 1 minute.
Be done properly.
It's 1 minute long. You see what I'm talking. Recreate the.
Well, I guess I can. Hold on here. I'll just do it this way. You don't need any volume for it, do you? Because you can just talk us through it.
I don't even talk. You just look.
Okay.
I don't need to talk. You see it. I'll show you everything. I'll show you there. Okay. I'll tell. There's what it's all the right size. That moon compared to the Earth is the right proportion. The distance. There's the sun I used in case you didn't know. I'm just using our own sun, and they're far. That moon is 30 Earths away from Earth. So if you measure the size of Earth, the moon is 30 Earths away. There's the shadow. You know, it covers almost the entire United States. Just with the clunky little model I did with all kinds of sunlight too, by the way.
I do want to point out this, Vlad. I do want to point something out because that's a good demonstration you did right there. I want to show you something though, because that right there is essentially the same thing as what you're looking at here. You know, yes, that is exactly what where the sun, the shadow that the sun would be casting upon the continent of the United States. And I don't know that I'm assuming your continents are the right size. I'm making an assumption there. But if your continents are the right size, you would see a shadow that would cover the majority of the United States. But that's not the path of totality. The path of totality is very tiny. So in your video, that's a good video. Well, let me pull your video back up. Hold on 1 second. It's a good video, but it's kind of out of focus. There's no way for us to see whether there's an actual an umbra there.
It might get a little better focus. Play a little more. Because everything moves really fast. Well, anyway, you get the idea. I mean, that's bigger than that little pea-sized shadow we saw of the United States. Okay, that's about it. I don't know. I could have done a better job. I didn't know how to use my camera that well. You know.
No, Vlad, I think it was a good demonstration. I think that's a really good demonstration that you attempted to put together there. I'd like to see more of it coming from people that are in the flat Earth. So I appreciate you at least making that attempt. Go ahead, Fohammer.
No, basically you covered it, team. The graphic that I showed from NASA itself comports with what you posted, what experiment you did. So, I mean, congratulations for proving the globe, I guess.
Hey, like he said earlier, Vlad, welcome to the globe Earth. Oh no, he froze. No, Vlad, where'd you go, bro? Get back in here. Oh man. We scared him with paint, and then we showed him how his evidence actually supports the globe. And
twice.
God, he dipped out on paint, and then he dipped out on this. Come on, Vlad. I know you didn't mean to leave, so get your ass back in here. All right, chat, how you guys loving this, man? You guys enjoying this? I'm doing my best, okay? Listen, I'm over here biting my fucking tongue right now. Because I really, really, really want to jump in and say things, and but I want you to be able to do it yourself as well, Fohammer, because you're doing a great job. Like, there's nothing wrong with anything that you're doing right now. So good for you. But I do want, I have been biting my tongue to not jump in and just take over for a minute and be like, because all this is very basic to me because I've done it for so long now. That I know all these arguments. I know all these, talking points. I will say Vlad did a good experiment. Vlad, if you don't join back and you are still listening in, next time you don't really have to stand this far back to take that picture. You can actually go up and take a really up close picture. I think maybe that kind of threw him off there, trying to take the picture from up the stairwell instead of right next to the yellow ball. Now, starting the picture back here to show the one ball and the other ball and their distances and all that was good. But then you could have moved up and shown an up close image of what that shadow actually is. And I would recommend, Vlad, if you're interested in doing this again, do it that way. Go do your thing the same way you did it, but next time go up and take a close up of that yellow ball, and let's see if the shadow actually has a tiny dot in the middle where no sunlight can be seen. because there might be. You never can tell. I don't know your measurements. I'm assuming everything you're saying is correct, and that all your that you made everything like measured it out correctly and made everything the right ratios and proportions to one another. That would have been great. But this right here is not really helping anybody because it's not a clear picture of the yellow ball, and that's what we're trying to look at is the yellow ball.
Yeah, we're trying to see what it's doing to the Earth with its shadow.
Yeah.
But I
anyway,
won't lie here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Team is better at this than I am. This is my first debate, and I'm kind of out of my element with this. There's a lot of things that were asked of me tonight from Rad, and I'm doing my best to answer them as accurately as I can. But trying to simply explain something is very difficult for me because I don't know enough about something to simply explain it.
Now, I want to say I agree with Commander Darklight out there. You're doing a really good job, Vlad. You really are. You're proving the globe Earth with every argument you have so far. And that's amazing. You don't normally get that from a flat earther. So I do recommend you keep on keeping on. Let's see. Is he in the chat saying anything? Because I want to see if he's still there.
Yeah, I think I saw him.
He said
he needed the link.
All right. 1 second, Vlad. Let me get you that new link real quick.
Oh, for everybody wondering what I'm drinking tonight, got a bit of Screwball whiskey. It's fucking amazing. Sorry, team.
Screwball. Oh shit! Hold on. I keep. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm still congested. I feel great, guys, but I am a bit congested still. So I do ask your forgiveness for all of this. So all this coughing that I'm doing. It's not intentional. All right, here you go, Vlad. Check your email. And you're doing a wonderful job, Fohammer. For your first time debating Flat Earth, you're doing an excellent job. In fact, go ahead.
I'm not doing quite as well as you did on your first debate, or team, or MC Toon, or any of the other debaters. But I'm trying.
I wouldn't say my first debate was was on Non Sequitur Show, and it was debate roulette, and I had to debate whether torture was effective or not, and I took the positive. So as a military man, I guess I'm okay with a little bit of torture, as fucked up as that sounds. I can laugh at it now because I never fucking tortured anybody in my life, so that's good. But yeah, I had to debate that, and it was kind of horrendous. I didn't do that great of a job debating whether torture was effective or not. But it's a hard topic to debate, debating whether torture.
Yeah.
Shit.
Crashes asked which side of the bacon debate I'm on. Bacon is amazing. It's the best food on the planet, second to ranch.
Oh, you're fucked up, dude. You're absolutely fucked up. No, I actually just cooked like 16 slices of bacon for me and my son. I make something called cocaine bacon. It's basically sugar sprinkled all over the top of the bacon, and then you caramelize it. It's amazing, and it's highly addictive. It's more addictive than actual cocaine. So, yeah, no, the bacon debate. I stand on bacon is the greatest thing ever invented by man. So we grow pigs for bacon, and I'm glad we do.
Worm, yes. Team is definitely a flat earther.
Who has that?
Some guy in the chat named Worm. Are you guys flat earthers? I'm new.
No, I'm not a flat earther, Worm. I'm actually, I would say I'm the penultimate flat earth debunker out there. I'm just taking a break from it and allowing other people to have these conversations that I've had hundreds of times now. And another thing, for those of you out there, I will host any debate about anything. So if anybody in the chat has disagreements on religion, on COVID-19, on wearing masks, anything like that, if you reach out to me, and I'll eventually have it all set up so that it's a much easier. The idea behind this is to actually maybe turn this into a Sunday night thing, like a Sunday night debate thing, where every Sunday night we get together and we debate a new topic or an old topic. It doesn't matter. But I want to open it up to you guys. I want to be, instead of being the person yelling at somebody else, I want to be the person sitting back and just watching it happen. So, yeah, you're doing a wonderful job, Fohammer. I would say interject a bit more. I think you're being a bit too polite because I don't think you want to cut him off. But I also think that, but I also think that he's getting away with a bit of false information, and then he moves on to something else without it being addressed. I guess that's why I'm biting my tongue. If I can give you any kind of constructive criticism about your performance so far, I just feel like you should probably interject a bit more to support your side.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's definitely something I'm gonna have to start doing more. I'm a very, very nice person, both here and in my real life, so I try not to interrupt people. So I'm gonna have to start doing that more. I'm gonna have to be more assertive.
Yes. Yeah. Be a bit. Be a bit more assertive, please. But that's it. Other than that, you're doing a hell of a job. No, not even lying. Not even kidding.
Another new link.
He needs another new link. Okay. Well, there's only so many new links I can give you, Vlad. Hold on. Let me get you one, bud. All right, check your email. It's there. But yeah, that's the only criticism I have for you so far. You presented some really good evidence that's not normally presented from our side. So I do like that. Let's see what the chat says. All right, everybody, criticize Fohammer right now. I'm going to read it out to him. I want to see what you guys have to say. What do you think about Fohammer's performance? What could he do better? And what could he not do better? Let's see. Vlad put some emojis in the chat. Yeah, Joanne says you're too nice. You're too polite. More aggressiveness. There you are, Vlad. There you are.
Performance. What could he do better? And what could he not do better?
Yo.
Hey, I can hear you, Vlad.
Yeah. Can you cut your live stream off? I don't know if you're still hearing it or not. Okay, let me cut this back to you guys. I'm gonna turn it over to we'll turn it over to Fohammer. Go ahead, Fohammer.
All right. Where did we leave off, Vlad? Please remind me.
Well, we've been talking about the shadow of the moon, and it's getting boring. You guys like to pretend like the umbra is the entire shadow, and because it shrinks a little, you say, see, the shadow does get smaller than the object casting it. First of all, it gets so little bit smaller, not nearly as small as you need it to be, according to what we saw during the eclipse. And then you guys like to overlook the fact that the penumbra is part of the shadow as well. And when we looked at Simon Dan's video, his own video right from the horse's mouth, you said yourself, Fohammer, that the entire shadow, including both umbra and penumbra, was never smaller than the perimeter of the object that he drew on that piece of paper.
Yes,
and then I said, yeah, it was a little bigger. So that's better for me. So better for me. So this shadow we're looking at of the real moon and the real shadow on the day of the real eclipse is tiny. That shadow we're looking at includes umbra and penumbra. You said yourself, what we see around that shadow is nothing but sunlit earth. What you're looking at there from end to end is a 70-mile wide shadow, including umbra and penumbra. That's too small for your model, but it proves the moon ain't more than 70 miles wide.
So I actually have 3 things. 1, if you look at your video, you see curvature. That's just a random aside. 2, NASA has released information that disagrees with what you said, and you saw that. It agrees with your observation, but it disagrees with your end result. And 3, I forgot where I was going with that. 3, if something gets bigger in terms of a shadow, that means that eventually it will get smaller in terms of umbra and penumbra. So again, if it gets bigger, it can get smaller.
That's what she said.
That is definitely what she said. I'm sorry if I didn't explain that quite right, but yeah.
Okay. So number 1, you had 3 points, man.
Yeah, team's face palming at me. I'm sorry, team. You shouldn't have to listen to
that. Come on, buddy.
You're breaking me, okay? Vlad, you're breaking me.
You can do this, bro. I believe in you. Okay. Someone's getting freaky over there. It's like music to my ears. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you made 3 points. Number 1 point was what was your first one again, man? I got punched too many times in my head. I used to be a fighter, and I would go out there. They'd pay me money to get on a plane and fight some animal somewhere, like a well-trained thoroughbred fighter, and I'd show up.
That makes a lot of sense now.
That's how my nose got like that. I didn't look like that before, man. But it's all good, man. It was a good time. But brother, tell me the first question again.
You can see curvature in your own video.
Oh yeah. Okay, brother. You're new at this. That's called a fisheye lens. That's gonna happen if you use that camera on, right in your own backyard. You're gonna see the ground doing that. That's an distortion caused by the type of lens they use there. So that you know what I'm saying. That happens. It's the camera's fault. It's not because the land is curving from up there.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. You could check that with anybody, bro. That's it.
So if you look, one second, Vlad. If you look at the bottom, it's not curving upwards. It's not curving downwards. It conforms.
If they angled that camera so that the horizon, like so that the land was below halfway point of the whole frame, you'll see it concave the other way. It'll curve actually concave. It won't curve up. What's it called when it curves up like that? There's convex. Yeah, it won't convex. It'll concave. So trust me on that one, bro. That's a fisheye lens, man. Okay,
I'm gonna interrupt for 1 second. One second. I'm gonna give you guys a time limit of about 25 more minutes to finish your arguments during this portion, okay? And then we'll give you each guys a final set. But I'm just giving you guys a heads up that we're gonna go for about 25 more minutes before we shut down the discussion part. Go ahead, Vlad. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, Fo, if you took that same camera and filmed around your backyard, it would look like that. You would see this.
I have a fisheye lens, and it does not look like that.
Well, maybe you need more distance for the effect to come in, because they're pretty, like you're seeing like hundreds of miles right there. But see how it kind of flat. I mean, curve. I don't want to waste too much time arguing about this. You see, sometimes it's more curved, sometimes it's less curved.
There's distortion. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it doesn't distort enough for it to conform with the flat Earth.
I know, but the Earth, it's not like a lava lamp, dude. You know, that shit looks like a lava lamp. You know what I mean? It's changing, man. Like the curve, if it was a curve, there should be a constant. See how it's kind of flat and then it bubbles up more? You know, so
yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, regardless of how much there is, it still isn't flat enough to make it a flat Earth.
Well, check how flat it is if you ever do that test with the telescopes, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go down to the pier, Santa Monica Pier, to the Marina Del Rey Pier, and I'm going to check for the 6 foot curve. Anyway,
please do it.
And then then the next one, you said something about NASA doing something. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I presented after this, I'll go back to my last point. It is relevant to that. I shared the total solar eclipse off of nasa.gov, and it comports with what we expect to see and what we do see in this video. So, I mean, it's not because NASA says it; it's because NASA's studied it.
What are you saying that they predict the way it's going to move and be and the time of it? Is that what you're saying?
But they also showed the math behind it. Not necessarily the math, but how it works. And how much of a umbra and a penumbra we were seeing at certain points on the U.S., Canada, and South America, Mexico. Team, I believe, still have that somewhere.
Well, they can tell.
I'm sorry, Fohammer, did you tell me you need me to show something?
Oh, yes. Do you remember the NASA link I gave you?
Which one would that be? The one I showed? The one with the path of totality?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it up right here. Let me get it pulled up. All right, there you go.
Sorry, Vlad, I'm not trying to distract. I'm trying to make this point. So this was my second point. NASA has shown that this comports with what we see in that video. It comports with what we expect to see. It comports with reality. Ergo, the Earth is round.
Well, what you're looking at there is a nice picture, but what I showed you is reality. You saw with your own eyes a small shadow, including umbra and penumbra, with nothing but sunlit Earth all around it. What NASA is showing you here is what I showed you in my model video. This is what we should see, although darker shadow than that. I see they're doing like a gradation, they're saying the umbra is that tiny little black dot, but the penumbra covers from Canada down to the middle of Mexico. Is that what you guys are saying? I mean, that's bigger than the moon.
Saying, yes.
Okay. But that and again, this is a picture that an artist made to demonstrate a story that NASA's telling you, like when you read a fairy tale out of a book to your child. That's what this is. Okay, I showed you
Vlad, let me correct you a little bit. I don't think that this is a story. I think this is a guide for somebody. Let's say you lived in Canada and you wanted to know about what time and about how much of the sun would be covered. You could use this to determine that. I don't think this is telling the story of the eclipse.
It's not.
Okay, that's fine. They could from Canada. You're saying they could see a little bit of the eclipse, like a little piece of it. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah, what it is that the percentages that that are listed up there are going to be percentages of the sun that's covered by the moon.
Yeah, that's fine. If I have a light source in my room and I hang a quarter or I hang like a little super ball off of it, one of those little bouncy balls with a string, and then I stand at an angle around my room, I can see partial eclipse there. That's fine. But
what's the definition of a shadow? What is a very simple definition of a shadow?
Well, it's when you block when a physical object blocks the light coming in.
Nope. It's four words.
What is it?
The absence of light.
Okay.
How much light has to be absent for it to be a shadow? 1%? 10%? Just because we can't see a giant shadow on that video doesn't mean that there isn't shadow elsewhere. Do you see my point with that, Vlad?
Well, where do you need shadow to be elsewhere, but you can't point to it. You're not looking at a picture here. You're looking at a real video. And you said yourself, you said yourself, you see sunlit Earth around the shadow. That shadow's too small for
sun?
Huh? What?
What percentage of sun is there to shadow? That video doesn't explain that.
I don't know. I don't need to know. But I need to. All I
But
need
you
to
do.
see is right there. No, all I need to see is that there's a shadow and it's not that big, and the sunlit Earth all around it. And other percentages and splitting hairs, I don't care about. That whole place should be in the shadow, and it's not. It's very simple.
Then you're ignoring the definition of what a shadow is. And you can't tell me that there isn't more shadow outside of what is clearly and easily visible based off of percentage.
Well, you say it's sunlit Earth all around it. And if we see listen, Fo, right there you see the whole sun. You don't see the sun. Now you got a partial eclipse. Now you can see the whole sun. So if you see the whole sun, that means you're seeing total sunlight on certain portions of that surface, which is what you see all around it. If the sun at no point right there, it's not covered anymore. Like you need it to be, but it's not. The whole sun showing, gone, coming out again, right? And there, whole sun again. Whole sun equals, But
two things.
And then the shadow moves. It'll move, but it begins to go away because the sun is moving. But if you move to the left, you start to see that small shadow again from the small moon.
So
it's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. Even a monkey can see what I'm talking about. It's very simple. It's not complicated at all. Yeah.
There are two things, Vlad. The first is that this is a time lapse. Correct?
It's a sped up video.
I would hope it is. I would hope it is a time lapse video.
Yeah, it's sped up a lot. It's sped up.
Okay. The second part is that this is not this camera is not in the path of the shadow. It is off the Earth. And you said it yourself, it was hundreds of miles up.
No, it was probably like 24 miles up above. It's in a weather balloon. They're like 24 miles up there. Yeah.
So I think that was just you misspeaking on that point. But still, this isn't fully in the path of the shadow. Would you disagree with that?
It's not the camera angle is not fully in the path of the shadow. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we don't see the moon go in front of it, do we? We see the moon in the camera, but we don't see it going in front of the sun.
Well, that was a funny thing. Yeah, I'll tell you that was a funny thing that day. I didn't see the moon at all, but the sun blacks out like something like a disc goes in front of the sun. It might not even be the damn moon because we should have seen like a crescent moon during the day before it covered up the sun. You never see the moon during an eclipse. That's a weird. So I'd like someone to explain that to me. But as a visual artist, if see how the side of my hand is lit, which right here.
I can't actually. Okay, there we go.
Okay, see that? So as the moon would be approaching that light source, it should have been some sunlight on the moon, but we never saw that. There was like nothing. There was no crescent moon in the sky, and then like a dark disc kind of covers over, man. Who knows what an eclipse really is? It's weird. It might be the moon covering the sun. That I always thought that, but it might not be. But anyway, whatever angle the camera is on that weather balloon, you can see the shadow. It's small, and there's in the penumbra. You see the umbra and the penumbra.
Again, what percentage of a absence of light is a shadow?
Well, you tell me. I don't know. You tell me.
Any percentage of missing sun.
You tell me. I don't know.
I just did.
You tell me.
Any percentage.
Okay, fine. Okay. So what?
What do you mean? I was very clear with what I said.
Just giving you guys a heads up. 13 minutes.
So what's your point with that?
My point with that again is that there is what looks to be sunlit Earth, but is it actually sunlit? Is there
Well, you said
any
it-
form of shadow over it? Yes, there is.
You said it was sunlit Earth before you started losing the argument, and now you're saying there's a shadow on that part.
No, I'm agreeing that there's sunlight. I'm just asking you how much of a percentage of sunlight is there?
Well, it looks like zero to me. The shadow is where I'm looking. I'm looking at the shadow. It's right. I can point to it.
I need to clarify something with you real quick because I'm not sure if you said what you meant to say. You said 0% sunlight. Is that what you meant to say?
For a shadow? How much percent does it need to be a shadow? Huh? For what?
Okay, never mind. Keep going. Never mind. I'm pretty sure you just.
I'm getting bored of this topic. You want to move to another one?
Sure. Team, pull up. Two.
What do you want me to
It'd
pull
be
up?
nice to talk about how President Nixon talked to the astronauts on the moon. I want to know if he's technical. How were the astronauts able to talk to President Nixon in 1979 from the surface of the moon? How'd they make that phone call? And what's the phone number on the moon? What's the phone number on the moon?
Vlad, no, don't say that. Don't say that,
What's
Vlad.
the phone number on the moon? I want to call him.
Please don't say
Can
that.
I call him?
Oh my God, no. There's no phone on the moon, Vlad.
Hey,
you know the
let's get some
transceivers.
girls. Let's get some girls and go up there.
Radios. Vlad, please try to call my radio for me.
Buddy, the moon is 238,000 miles away. That means you can fit 30 Earths from the tip of your nose to where the moon is supposedly. 30 Earths. You can hear a radio that far away. I can't hear a radio when I cross county lines. I don't hear the radio. I don't hear the radio anymore.
So again, thank you for proving the globe.
And how did they boost the signal though with the 9-volt battery? They had if it is a radio, how are they able to boost the signal so far? With what by what power? How they generate so much power?
Power that was in what do you call it? The lunar lander? Maybe, I don't know. But they were still in Earth orbit, Vlad.
No, they were on the moon. They were on the moon chilling, having talking with President Nixon. He called them when they were chilling on the moon, like taking a break from in the
10 minutes.
They were there in that little shack. You know, they were there. They were on the moon. They weren't orbiting Earth. He spoke to them. He made a telephone call, and he called them up, and they spoke back to him, and he heard them clear with no sound, no delay, no time delay. How's that possible?
There was a 6-second time delay.
No.
Yes.
No, they spoke.
Please.
There was? You have a video of that one, team? We could listen to Nixon talking to them?
Vlad, do you know what the speed of light is?
Well, okay, look, if there was, then I'm wrong, but I'm still going to say how they generate enough power to send a signal from the moon.
You don't really need that much power. You don't really need that much power
to
send a radio signal. No. Radio signals, really? Just had to have sensitive enough equipment here to receive that. So for them to receive it, they just have to. For them to receive it, it requires much less power for them to send a signal back. But it also doesn't require that much signal to send that much power to send a signal back. Here on Earth, we have much bigger receivers that we can take a small signal coming from the moon and still decipher what it is. Whereas the other way.
Hammer said there was a 6-second time delay. Does it take 6 seconds for a beam of light to go from the moon to Earth if it was traveling?
No, it takes about 1.5 seconds to get there, 1.5 seconds to get back.
So you guys have another problem there because Hammer says, does the radio wave go as fast as light?
Yes.
But you also
if it was a
6
second.
It was going from, let's see here. I have to find the actual path real quick that it went.
Okay. guys, forget. I got a better one. Forget that because it looks like I'm losing that one. Comes a better one for you guys. I might win that one, but I don't know enough about power and radio. I don't know enough about that one. Okay, here's a better
radar
one.
tech. I was a radar tech in the military, so I can tell you all about that.
I'm out of my league on that one. Here's another one, guys. The International Space Station is supposedly zooming around the Earth doing loop-de-loops. It's been doing it for 20 years, right?
Loop-de-loops?
Right, team? It's doing loop-de-loops around Earth.
Oh, orbits. Yeah, orbits, yeah.
Orbits sounds so much smarter. You're right. So now the problem is according to Google, you can Google this, there are 25 million meteorites that come through that trajectory. They burn up in Earth's atmosphere, but ISS is not in Earth's atmosphere. It's above it going around. 25 million meteorites. Guess how often, Fohammer? 25 million is that per year, per 10 years, per 100 years? What would you guess?
I have no idea.
Per day. 25 million per day. And man, I'd be shitting my pants on that fucking thing. I'd be
space is big.
A little pebble can poke a hole in there and they're all dead. They can have a killer world. They're doing them nice little backflips and joking around and yucking it up, making little songs. Totally relaxed, not a care in the world. 25 million meteorites per day are passing through their trajectory as they zip around, and not once in 20 years has it ever been even mentioned. In the slightest problem that one little quarter, size of a quarter, is going to pop right through that material, and they're all dead. How's that possible, guys?
Because space is big. Space is very, 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 very big.
So 25 million is big too. 25 million a day, not a year. 25 million rocks a day are going through their trajectory of the space station for 20 years. And not once has there been a problem. And not once have they shown any sign. Oh shit. Like, I hope.
They recently had to patch a hole, I believe.
That is correct.
But I just saw it passing, so. So yes, they
guys have 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So it's possible that there's never a problem. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, what else do I got? Oh man, here's a good one.
One second, Vlad. You've been presenting a lot of stuff. Let me present something real quick, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take it away from you, but team, can you please pull up Mage 2 for me?
Yeah. Are you talking about what's it?
Mr. Sensible's Mage 2.
Yeah. Let me get that. 1 second.
Please hit the 1 hour 36 minute mark and play it until we're done, and you can just mute it in the background.
Wait, is
Sounds
it?
like
There's a. Excuse me. Just the regular Mage one, because that's the only one I'm seeing of that length. 3 hours and 43 minutes. Okay, just making sure I'm grabbing the right one. Give me 1 second to bring that in. And what timestamp did you want me to go to?
1 hour 36 minutes, 10 minutes either way.
Okay, I'm gonna get this in as quickly as I can so we can stay on time. I'd like to finish. Anytime I do these debates, I'm gonna have some kind of time constraint. It's gonna take a while not a while to download, but a good minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have clipped that for you.
You know what? No. Hold on. I know how to fix this. I won't download it. I'll just share it. Where did you want me to go to? At what time? 1 hour and what? 10 minutes? Around
36.
36 minutes. Okay.
Around there.
All right. I'm gonna put it at 1:35. 1:34:30. All right. And now let me get the screen up for you guys. Okay, here you go.
Go forward a little bit. There we go. Vlad, what does that look like to you?
It looks like ice or like
Those are clouds.
Antarctica or something? It's a cloud. Those are clouds?
Those are clouds. So if you look at the top right corner, you can see how many satellites this camera has seen, the altitude, how much pressure it has in terms of atmospheres. That's what the ATM is, pascals, and you can see the altimeter, and you can see the temperature.
I saw a little look like a shooting star. Where are you saying we're seeing satellites in there?
Yep, there's been 10 satellites that have been seen by Mage 2's camera. Now keep in mind, on a weather balloon.
Is that one?
I'm not sure. I haven't gone through this video frame by frame yet, so I haven't been able to determine where exactly.
Yeah, anybody that wants to, Vlad, if you want to check this out, this is on Mr. Sensible's channel, and you can easily go watch that at another time if you'd like.
Okay, I'll tell you where I know where you guys are going with this. So I'll give you my answer. Okay, there may be some high altitude craft and technology types, energy types of energies that we have, types of propulsion systems we have, types of craft that we have that the average Joe is not aware of. Okay, that they keep from knowledge of the average Joe. There might be some things very high up there that are zooming around. There may be drones. There might even be people on them. There might be a giant spaceship zooming above the Earth. Let's call it the International Space Station. But those videos that we see are totally goofy and fake. That's not how scientists behave. I don't know what they're contributing to us on Earth from being up there. Like, what's their purpose? How have they benefited mankind from anything they've done up there? What have they done? Have they cured cancer? I read it. They made like high protein crystals. It's like, who fucking cares, man? I read it on Google.
Listen.
It was like
Listen. Hey guys, listen. We're out of time, but just like soccer, there's injury time because Vlad had to be carted off a few times and brought back on. So I'm giving you guys 3 minutes of extra time. This is your chance to score a goal. Vlad, let me warn you of something. Don't score an own goal, okay? You got 3 minutes. Make your point. Go.
My turn.
Okay, go first.
Okay. Anybody, unless you're a total naive buffoon, if you just look at the videos of the way the guys are acting on the moon, you see something silly is going on. It's not real. It's not authentic. It's not real people in a real environment behaving the way they would if they're on the moon. And you see the way the physics work. The guy falls down and something, the balloon picks him back up. You can see the finger pointing to the cable that's holding him up. And there's other videos that show the actual balloon. If you Google ApolloReality.com, you can see all the pictures, all the stuff that was done behind the curtain, like how the magician does the trick. They show you how they did those tricks. ApolloReality.com. The way that they behave on the International Space Station, 25 million meteorites a day are passing through the trajectory of the International Space Station, the big giant football field sized spaceship. Never once was there a problem. One little pebble would pop a hole in there. Everyone's dead immediately. That air comes out quick. It's not going to be like, oh, let's go patch it up after we have coffee. Man, everybody's dead. They show no signs of any concern whatsoever. The shadow of the moon on Earth, I proved it. The shadow of the moon, including umbra and penumbra, is 70 miles wide. Slam dunk for flat Earth. You can play around with words and percentages and umbra and penumbra and be cute about the umbra shrinks. Your own guy, Simon Dan, demonstrated the umbra shrunk a little, which is the shadow was never smaller than the perimeter of the object the guy traced onto the piece of paper. Fohammer confessed. Yeah, it's the same size. I said I rest my case. What else?
Fohammer, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here? We got 1 minute left. 60 seconds, bud. Score the goal. Okay, it's going to require you to unmute yourself.
Yep, I have to unmute myself. So I'm going to start with correcting myself. It received GPS signal from 10 satellites. It did not see 10 satellites. That was my fault. Now, in totality, with proof from H2, Coriolis, Ballistics, stuff like the Battle of Jutland, Red's Rhetoric's ISS observation, bouncing lasers off the retro reflectors on the moon, all comports with what we expect to see in reality. Ergo, it's a globe. I rest my case.
All right, that's it. That's it. That's it. Nope. Yep. That's it. Clap. Yeah. Everybody in the audience, put your hands together. Put your hands together for Vlad and Fohammer. This was a great debate. We also have a new person joining the panel today. AT2 Productions. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, this has been quite the watch.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Jared. You shouldn't have watched me be an idiot.
Before we jump to the nice tendons there, before we jump to the discussion about the debate, I do want to give these gentlemen a good chance to shill themselves out, let them know what they think about their own performance tonight, and then we'll turn it over to just discussion and super chats. Vlad, since you are the guest, you can go ahead and say your final statement.
About what? About my performance?
Yeah, about your performance, your opponent's performance. Just talk a little shit. I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, no, my performance was garbage. I mean, I didn't convert anybody. Everyone in the chats hates me. I think I'm retarded, man. Let's take a nap. You know, I got to think of something.
I will say you're the best flat earther I've met yet. So you at least presented something to talk about. That's much more than saying I walk outside and I can see too far. Like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. You know, so thank you for that. Fohammer, what do you have to say about your own self and your opponent's performance tonight?
I agree with Vlad. He did debate like our... No, I'm just kidding, Vlad. I'm in the same boat. This is my first debate. So I feel like I did fairly well for it being my first debate. I was trying to find evidence for some of your claims on the fly. So good job there, Vlad. It's been a long time since I've been challenged like that. Vlad, I do enjoy talking to you. You seem like a very nice person, and I would love to have a beer with you sometime if you're ever in Michigan for my experiment.
Right. Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right, Jared. What did you think, Jared?
I do have to say it was surprisingly coherent throughout most of it. I mean, there was some stuff that was just outright fucking wrong that was said by a particular panel member, but one actually
Sorry about getting everything wrong, Jared. I apologize for that.
Hey, I wasn't trying to name names. I wasn't trying to go down that road. I'm trying to be generous. I'm trying to get back to where I used to be. But, you know...
Now, we're opening it up to discussion, so we're not going to talk about... This is no longer debating. Now we're going to just open it up for discussion. Vlad, you got a lot of things wrong, in my opinion, man. The shadow part, I want you to really redo your ball experiment, the 2 balls that you had with the sun. I really want you to redo that for me, okay? I'd love to see... I don't know if you heard me when I was explaining why you were in the chat, because you had actually fallen out for a second. You could have easily taken care of that experiment by, instead of standing from behind it, actually taking the camera up to the ball and getting a close-up on the ball. That's the first thing I would have suggested for that experiment, because you don't actually, once you showed it from behind and you showed that you were working with appropriate distances and sizes and the ratios of diameters and stuff like that, no longer do you really need to be behind that little ball. At the next point, you're trying to actually show the shadow on the bigger ball. I would suggest that you take the camera and get a close-up of that shadow. And I'd really be interested in seeing what the results of your experiment are. Because like you said, you know, once you do it, you're going to get down there and realize that you live on a fucking globe Earth, man. Straight up.
Wrong.
Oh, show
I'm going to do a video again. It's going to hurt you guys, but I'll do it again. I don't like to do it to you.
What about you, Jared? What do you have to offer?
I'm gonna.
Oh, well, one, of course, he has to walk away because I don't know. Let's get a vote from the chat. Do you think that Vlad will be able to answer some yes or no questions?
Cool, Vlad. Cool, Vlad.
I can.
Well,
I can
yeah,
hear
but when
them.
you walk away, you won't be able to see what I put on screen.
Okay, give me 30 seconds, man. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
How about that? We'll give him 30 seconds. Jared, criticize Fohammer. What could he have done better, and
Yes,
what
please.
did he do good?
Okay. Good on the way you actually controlled yourself and stuck with just simple, clean, little bit of area for improvement. Some of the topics that are regular talking points, just if you need to have the notes ready aside that are independent of your main presentation, go ahead and do that as well, which is actually a couple of things that I'd like to bring up with Vlad about the whole structural integrity of the ISS. He is severely lacking in misunderstanding that area of things. And even just a basic understanding of how fluid dynamics and differing pressure systems work. Just because you get a pinprick in the ISS doesn't mean you're going to automatically get an explosive decompression. There is a tensile strength to the material around it that you still have to overcome.
Wait,
and also
are you saying that the movies take a little bit of scientific liberty when they...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm just making sure that that's what you're saying. That not that you can't just believe that the side of a fucking airplane is just going to blow the fuck up because of a tiny pebble, or something like that. Like there is some things that do have that are, very taking a lot of liberty, dramatic liberty when it comes to making a science fiction movie or a science fiction presentation.
Correct. And with the whole threat from micrometeorites, if I remember correctly, it's on average of 2 or 3 repairs a year that need to be done to the ISS. So it's not that it's never been hit. It has been hit. It's been hit by micrometeorites more times than I can remember off the top of my head. The issue is what's hit and the size of the micrometeorite that hits it. That's where you get into questions of the actual structural integrity as it relates to where it's getting hit to the actual survivability of the craft. Because guess what takes up the most surface area on the ISS? The solar panels. Damage to the solar panels is not going to decompress the living compartments.
How big is the average size micrometeorite? What are the size ranges? I mean, there's 25 million meteorites. What's the average size?
Yeah, but you are talking of millimeters to a centimeter.
What's the biggest?
That they've hit and been recorded that I recall was right around a centimeter, maybe slightly over. You're looking only about a 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch hole, and that was on a solar panel, not on a compartment.
A 2-inch hole would, if it hit the compartment, would kill everybody.
Not instantly.
How long?
They still have 15 seconds of useful consciousness left. Assuming a complete vacuum as soon as it would hit.
It is a complete. I mean, it's if a 2-inch hole in it, not a complete vacuum. If a 2-inch hole goes in an airplane, how long until they're screwed? In an airplane, how long?
Depends. Are they staying at altitude, or are the pilots actually paying attention and then immediately reducing altitude? If they reduce altitude, they can fly indefinitely with a hole in the fuselage.
Well,
which, by the way, my specialty in the military was aviation.
Aviation electronics, right? AT.
Yep.
So there's no. Are there any rock? How many rocks the size of a brick are up there? Coming down. Out of those 2 million
billions.
Out of those, okay, out of those
meteorites in the space.
Billions? Well, that's all you need is one. All you need is one.
Asked how many are up there. You asked how many were up there. How many are up there is different than how many actually come into proximity enough to be a risk.
1 meter, right? The size of a tangerine. If it hits in the right, those guys are all dead. And none of them show one bit of concern about it, and it's never happened in 20 years. And there's
that's like saying that's like saying if a ship gets hit with a torpedo, it's going to sink. It immediately sinks. No, it's compartmentalized. I'm sure they have ways of protecting themselves. I mean, I'm sure they didn't put the ISS up there and go, you know what? Let's not worry about meteorites hitting the ISS. I'm sure that if they had a catastrophic impact, that they'd probably be able to lock off one section of the ISS that was damaged and still maintain life support and whatnot and the rest of it. Just as you would on a ship or a submarine or anything that's really pressurized, maybe outside of an airplane.
Who knows? But I'll tell you, the behavior of those
NASA
astronauts. Well, the behavior of those astronauts on there is very goofy. What are they doing? What are they doing up there? What's the purpose of it?
It depends on the mission.
Tell me one great thing they did to contribute to mankind down here on Earth on that
Jaws of Life. Jaws of Life have saved millions, and not in the space station, but NASA itself. The Jaws of Life, a technology that they invented, ended up being used here on Earth to save lives. Can you imagine how many lives have been saved by EMTs that show up and can't get a person who's dying out of a car and now can because they have the Jaws of Life? That's the technology.
What does that have to do with space?
Because it was invented. It was invented for space travel. The technology was invented for space travel, and then it was implemented here on Earth to help out. Absolutely.
Sure.
Before that,
that's a nice story.
It's not a story, Vlad.
It's a nice story.
It's not a story.
They had a problem where they need to choose people are about to get killed, so they made the Jaws of Life. It's got nothing to do with space.
No, before that, we had the K-12 SAW. We still had extrication options, but the Jaws of Life is far superior to the K-12 SAW.
So let me get this right, Vlad. You're asking for technology that they invented in space that would help us here on the Earth in space.
Yeah.
No, it's technology they invented for space travel that they implemented here on Earth, and it saves lives on Earth. This is direct. This is what we get for sending people to space. This is what the idea, the desire to push those boundaries has led to several scientific inventions and whatnot.
Breakthrough. I asked you, how have they contributed to mankind down here? What's their purpose in the International Space Station? What have they done to help mankind? You brought up the Jaws of Life.
Tang.
What? No.
You drank Tang. Tang.
What kind of Tang you talking about?
That poo
tang. You know the type.
Wait, we're talking about you, so it certainly ain't the poon tang.
They didn't make that, man. Brother, that.
Yeah.
That's
to be fair,
all right. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop it here. Vlad, we're gonna stop it here because we have super chats that need to be read out. And the very first super chat is pro Vlad. Okay. So we're going to read out super chats right now, and then we'll get ready to kind of shut it down. We'll still probably chat for a moment after the super chats come in, but I'm going to go ahead and read them right now, okay, Vlad? The very first one, $5, 5 New Zealand dollars from Bella Charge. Let's go, Vlad. If you get stuck, hit me up. I'll make some new BS on the spot that sounds legit as fuck. There isn't any proof, but hell, we can make stuff up on the go. Hashtag no science. Rampant for 1,000 claps. I'm rooting for. Oh, look at that! There's another one. I'm rooting for the Vlad foe. Just give him this. Oh shit! It's gonna be all pro Vlad right now. I can hear it. John Rapp, 2 Aussie dollars. Good day, team and guests, and especially the awesome chat. You're right, man. The chat is so fucking awesome. Let me actually get myself on camera while I read these off to you guys. You're right, chat. You chat. Y'all are killing me. I've been reading the chat. I've been on mute, but I've been busting out laughing this whole time. So I love you, chat. You guys are fucking amazing. And John Rapp. Oh yeah, everybody, give John Rapp the John Rapp treatment. John, listen, bud, you're never gonna get away from it. Okay, we love you. Just know we love you, but you're never gonna get away from it. I need to see middle fingers in the chat right now. Anybody can do it. You don't even have to be a member. What's that?
It's our sign of endearment.
Yeah, hold on. Everybody, you can just copy and paste this one because this one's going to be, here you go. Just copy and paste what I post right now. 100 middle fingers for John Rapp. Let's see if we do. Can we give John Rapp 10,000 middle fingers today? That's not that hard. If everybody copies and pastes my post right there, we can give John Rapp 10,000 middle fingers today. I want to see that in the chat. Mods, I hate to do it to you, mods, but get ready to click show a bunch of times. Yeah, right. Excuse me. Bella Charge for 2 New Zealand dollars. You're not doing well. What's your own video? You're not doing well, Vlad. Your own video said it. That was your supporter, man. You're losing support, Vlad. J.L. Warren for $2. Yeah, it's called mathematics. Ooh. The Athens 619 for $5. Citation needed for all of it. Now, for Vlad's, in his defense, he did present several things that what was it? You did present some long-range shooting. You presented a video on long-range shooting. My cat is trying to knock things off of my desk. Hey, baby, go. Sorry, I just saw my pulse oximeter start flying to me at me from behind my monitor, and a paw goes like this. So, yeah. But, yeah, so he did actually present some. But, yeah, we'd like to see more citations with your presentation. But it will be hard because who are you going to cite, NASA? Stephen York for $22.99 Aussie. Yeah, baby. If you actually look at the moon footage of the guy getting up, you can see he is holding the guy standing up with his left hand. That's what he is using for leverage. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. That was in your moon footage, Vlad. And then let me go ahead and run that back. Oh, you know what? I'm on camera now, so it will be hard for me to show that. But yeah, you know what he's talking about, Vlad, right? He's talking about the moon where it kind of looks like the guy jumps up like that. You also have to remember 2 things I wanted to point out. Number 1, the helium balloon thing, okay? The helium balloon thing is a way of simulating moon's gravity, okay? Now, the way that works is on the moon, you have about 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So on here, we fall at a rate of 9.8 meters per second squared. So we have to get about 1/6 of that, and I believe that's going to be about 1.5 meters per second. Is that right? No, it's a little more. It's like 1.55 meters per second squared. So what they have to do is they have to create a helium balloon that applies a force upwards. When you also have the force downwards and you have the force upwards, the force acting on the person is going to be a sum of both of those forces. So by adding more and more and more helium, it then creates more and more lift until you've achieved where the person is only falling down at 1/6 the rate that he normally would. That's the reason why they use the helium balloons. The second part is that they only have 1/6 gravity on the moon. Now, Vlad, if you went to the moon, right, you might be able to jump up right now and get a good 6 inches off the ground. If you went to the moon, you'd get much higher because there's less of a force pulling you down. That's why it looks funny to you. You wouldn't see that happen here on Earth, but at the same time, it's very, very possible and completely consistent with physics occurring on the moon under 1/6 gravity. Robert Williams for $4.99. Apollo 9 was a manned test of the lunar module in orbit. Apollo 10 was a manned test in moon orbit. LM3 and the LM used in 9, LM1 and 2 were all unmanned tests. Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate that info. And good to see you out there, brother. C4, baby, $5. I love it. Wait, is this guy new? No, he's not. Wait, oh yeah, you're talking about Fohammer. Yeah, Fohammer's new. Well, I don't think he's talking about Rad Vlad, because Vlad's been around for a minute. But Fohammer is new. Hey, Rad Vlad, question. I want to ask you a question. Rate Fohammer. I want you to tell me what you think of Fohammer's performance today. And be honest. Don't be biased. Be honest, okay?
Yeah, be completely honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Listen, this is a fight. You got to be nasty. And you got to know your stuff. Like you know your gun stuff, but you got to really make it clear why that ball, earth, and spinning. I know you talk about the Coriolis, but it's not really enough to convince me one way or another. It's a very subtle, if it at all exists, it's so subtle, I don't even use it really. And then, so you got to be a little, if you're going to debate ball earth, you got to know the rate of Earth's curvature. You got to know about there's a lot of things you got to kind of have like right at your disposal, like shoot from the hip. There's stuff, but it's not that's all.
Well, let me tell you something, Vlad. Well, with what you just said right now, Vlad, with what you just said right now, I do want to point out that even if no matter how subtle the Coriolis effect is, if it exists, like you said, it could possibly exist. It's so subtle, but even it's subtle, the most subtle you can think, if it exists, it means the Earth's rotating. That is either means your flat Earth is spinning or it means the globe Earth is spinning. One of those two have to be a fact. So
convince me when he does the experiment. I'm not convinced. People are talking. People, I don't see it. And the guys that say it's real are saying you shouldn't even really take into consideration, like unless it's a long distance shot. And if you miss by 3 feet, don't blame it on Coriolis. How the hell can you ever prove it? Really? How the hell are you going to prove it? Yeah.
Okay, but Vlad, but hold on, Vlad, hold on. Let me address that real quick, because you're talking about one situation, a person firing a weapon. When people fire weapons, they don't typically fire it at targets over a kilometer away. Now, if you step out of that realm and you say, okay, well, let's ask an artilleryman, or a mortarman that's shooting much greater distances, well, then even the subtle effect of Coriolis does become something you must account for, and they do account for it, like Fohammer presented today in his presentation, that when Coriolis is an effect that needs to be taken into account, it must be taken into account, or you won't be accurate.
So you think when you're on the when you're on the battle, when these guys are on the battlefield and they're going to hit an enemy target and cause mortal casualties, before they take their shot, they go, let me see how much is the Earth going to spin before I pull this trigger.
Hold on. Good point. No, Vlad, great fucking point, right? But they also take into account so many other things. So adding that calculation into all the other, they don't just look out and go, yeah, I think that ship's about 25 miles away. Let's just aim that sucker right there at about 35 degrees and let's see how close we get. Oh shit, we're way off. Do that again, but this time do it 45. No, they have calculations for that shit.
I'll tell you the problem with that proof.
Speaking of those calculations,
the problem with that proof for you guys, you never going to really be able to prove one way or the other. The ones I'm giving you guys, like with the telescope on the beam and the 6 feet Earth curvature, you can do that yourself. When you look at the shadow of the moon on the Earth, you can see that with your own eyes, and you can test it with little quarter and a shadow in the sun. You can test this shit yourself. You're never going to test Coriolis. I can't test it myself. I got to believe some guy's story who works in the military and NASA, and they're all they're all working for this.
No, we're not. So you're completely wrong on that. So team, it's time for me to go ahead and go through this that I've had waiting. Vlad, I'm going to ask you just to answer yes or no. And it's one question multiple times. And all you have to do is answer yes or no. Do you think you can handle that?
You can't put me in a little box like that. You can ask your question.
I'm going to be asking you a simple yes or no question. Are you capable of answering a yes or no question?
Think carefully on this one.
I always will tell the truth, whatever it takes. Go ahead. Shoot. Go ahead, man.
I will take that as a yes. All right, team. Go ahead.
I'm not telling you. Go ahead.
Because my simple question for you, Vlad, does this look flat? Yes or no? Does this look flat?
Yeah.
Okay. How about now? Does it look flat?
The horizontal
does
line?
It look Does it look
the horizontal
flat?
line? The horizontal line, is it flat?
Maybe no. Hard to tell.
All I did was zoom out. Yes or no? Does it look flat?
It looks flat. It looks flat.
Hard to tell. Might be some curvature there.
Oh, really? I barely zoomed out and you're already going that way? Well, hang on. Let's go ahead and... Does it look flat?
Yes.
What are you playing around with? Who's the name? What's the name of the guy talking right now?
That's AT2. He's just an experienced debater in this topic. So he just came on to the show.
Hey, buddy, I showed you the picture of the moon. I showed you the moon, the shadow of the moon with your own eyes. It's 70 miles wide. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm not showing you little drawings. I'm showing you saw the right there.
Oh no!
Go look at that.
You
look at that. Go look at that and tell me all about Penumbra.
See this, Vlad? See this? We're going from a circle, and as I get in closer, holy shit, it's looking flat. Which, by the way, something just to show you here. From here, this is where we started. This over here, all the way at the right, that is 1 degree right there. 1 degree. Miles. The equivalent of 111.1 kilometers. That vertical stick that you saw, 1 meter of the surface. This right here, this is the 3-mile mark. Right here. It's equivalent to 3 miles from where you are standing to the average horizon, visible horizon, for someone who is 6 feet tall. Huh. Looks like it looks damn near flat, doesn't it? But hang on, let's go ahead and zoom in here, out at the horizon. Holy fuck, it's not flat.
Are you sure you've experienced it? Are you sure? What's so about this guy?
That exactly comports with what I have dealt with for years, living on and near the ocean.
All right. So let me keep on with super chats. Yeah. Go ahead.
Tell him something. Hey,
go ahead,
guy. On your Earth at the you can't see 3 miles away because I'm under 6 feet.
Yes, I can.
I can see 3 miles away. No. No, camera is a foot off the ground like that rifleman was, and I'm 3
I
miles
can
away.
easily see 3 miles away.
No, you can't. No, because the Earth curvature.
Yes.
I'm under the Earth curvature.
No.
What are you talking about?
You have two
What do you
people
know?
who have said that they can see 3 miles so far, Vlad.
2 people are wrong. Yeah, you can because that's the only reason. That's why you can. You got 3 people, not 2 people, 3 people. I'll tell you, you can see me too. You will see me. Bam!
All right,
so
let me.
hang on, Vlad. That formula that you wanted to stick with, earlier on, the 8 inches per mile squared, what shape does that end up giving you?
Look, we already went over it. Team told me that's 1,000 miles. It's good for 1,000 miles.
No.
So don't try to.
No,
That is not my question. That was not my question. Please answer my question. What
questions?
formula?
Team, can you go with the super chat? The guys
I want to
Yeah.
see if you were paying attention, Vlad. I want to see if you were paying attention.
La 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 la. I gotta
so
go,
you
man.
weren't
Right.
paying attention.
All right. Let me get on with super chats.
I don't waste my time with guys. God bless you guys. Good night.
Are you out of here? All right.
I gotta
take
go.
care, Vlad. Yeah, take care, Vlad. We'll talk later.
All right, Vlad, thank you for debating me. I had fun.
Jessica G for $2. Hashtag thanks, Vlad. Yeah, thanks, Vlad. I actually did have a good time with this tonight too, man. This was fun. It was actually a breath of fresh air to be able to sit back and not have to do all the yelling and arguing. And you did a hell of a job, Fohammer. I think you have a lot to learn from your performance tonight. If you want to continue to do debates and whatnot, I think this is a great starting point. And I think you can go back and watch the debate for yourself and see where you could do better. Vlad did make a really good point. You know, you showed the Coriolis effect, but you didn't really push how that is how that relates to the Earth being curved and rotating as well. So that's just a suggestion, you know, to be able to really pound that information into your opponent a little bit better, give them a reason to see why you're saying what you're saying. But all in all, you did great. I mean, you did fine. So let me keep going. Let's see. PhD Tony for $5 Aussie. So the fact Vlad can ramble incoherently for hours at a time is a death knell for the heliocentric model. No, not at all. Not at all. Because if that's the case, I can ramble on for hours and hours and hours, and that's a death knell for the flat Earth. J.L. Warren for $1.99. I'm literally bleeding out of my ears. Thank you. You get me, JL. You get me. All right.
Sorry about that.
And also, no, it wasn't you, I promise. And hey, AT2, thanks for coming on last minute too, man. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. David Oliver for £5. Mr. Sensible proved shadows can be bigger than the object casting it. So did Sam Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. So that is one thing that you can go check out. Mr. Sensible actually did a really good video where he did show that the penumbra and umbra were, you know, he showed it on a white piece of paper and he took a picture of it. And I think he did some adjusting to it so that you could actually see what the shadow, how big the shadow was that was formed. Definitely go check out Mr. Sensible's channel. He has a great channel. David Oliver, again, for £5 in WH40K. That's Warhammer 40,000. There's a space wolf called Arjak Iron Fist who has a thunder hammer called Fohammer. And Arjak Iron Fist means man mountain. I think that was a shout out to you. Yeah.
1 second. Go to my screen real quick.
All right.
I'm a Warhammer.
You're a what? Oh, yeah.
2 books I have next to me. I have about 2 dozen of them on my phone. Praise be to the Omnissiah.
Already. So let's keep going.
I had to.
No, you're good. You're good. Flatten Destruction for $5. Team, ice this motherfucker. I'm tired of these flirts, and I want to get in on a debate. Flatten Destruction, you're welcome to. I don't care who. Flatten just want to smash. I like that. I like that. Like I said, if you know of a flat earther that you'd love to debate, sorry, my cat's trying to climb on my camera again. If you know of a flat earther that you'd love to debate, then just let me know, and you're more than welcome to. I'll reach out for him. If you don't reach out to him, I will. But you're more than welcome to come on here. Illuminous Poo, whoo, $5. Vlad can't think in three dimensions, just like Con. Konnnnnnnnn. I have no idea what con is, but I'm sure it's relevant. Irish Demon for $2.99 Aussie. Nobody let Vlad handle a firearm. Foe is a legend. I agree, man. You did Fohammer, you really did a good job. You blew my mind with that stupid ass fucking magazine trick. And now I got to go fucking buy some fucking magazines to show on stream all the time to show that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Let's see. I'm sorry?
AKM magazines. It stands for Automatic Kalashnikov Modern.
Yeah. Cool. Gary, IOW for £5. I think you may need a beer after this. Christ, on a bike. Yeah, I need a freaking beer my ass. I need fucking a goddamn keg.
I can brew you one if you want.
I have it ready for. Oh yeah, we talked about this, didn't we? We did talk
about
this.
Yeah, I owe you a bottle of mead or 6.
It's all right. I'm coming down to see you anyway, so when I do, we can sit back and put a few down. Alyssum for $2 Aussie dollars. Vlad struggles with curvature versus tangential drop. Yeah, I think, was it not you that said that in the chat, Jared? Where Vlad's confusing hidden from drop.
Not just confusing, I would say he's intentionally misrepresenting the two.
Yeah.
Because the formula he's giving is tangential drop. Drop from a tangent or feet, not hidden. And that's where, if he didn't run away, I was going to ask him about his formula he wanted to use. So where do you account for observer height?
He didn't. That's what I drew on my paint. I was like, yeah, you're not accounting for the fact that you have an observer height. So any kind of drop you want to calculate is not from your eye line. It's from the tangent of your sight to the where your sight hits the curve of the earth, the sphere. That's where you would calculate drop, and that's not the same as hidden.
Correct.
Cool. Schrodinger's cat for $1.99. Hello, team. What up, Schrodinger? Shit, man. You're about to pass me up if you haven't already done it. Good shit, man. I'm so happy for you. For those of y'all that don't know Schrodinger's cat, he's been a friend of the channel for a long time. I was there when his inception happened. Not like when his mom and dad got together, but when he started his channel. And he's also a military guy. All of us on here are military, ex-military. And he's ex-military too. Great channel. Go check him out. Alyssum for $5. Guys, you're ignoring that he doesn't understand the difference between curvature and tangential drop. Yeah. I was trying to stay out of it. I did jump in for a minute to show him, to kind of push him in the right direction towards his mistake. But I didn't want to grab his hand and walk him through it, because that would have been a 1 to 2 hour long process. The plot hole. You were doing fine. You were doing fine. No, you were doing perfectly fine. The plot hole for $2 for the coffers. Cheers. Last one until the next one. Thank you so much, plot hole. Again, another great channel out there who definitely deserves your sub. Go check him out, and if you enjoy his channel, then give him a subscription. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Same goes to my channel. Alyssum for $5 Aussie dollars. Now he suffers from bad internet. Remember the BS he gave me from my bad internet? Yeah, right. To be honest, still a waste of time. Yeah, it's yeah, at least he got in, at least he got in. But he did actually, he came on about 2 hours early to do a sound check. I'll give Vlad that. At least and the last time when he canceled, he only canceled because he wanted to make sure that the evidence he was presenting was actually presented. I will never knock somebody for saying, hey, can we reschedule this so I can get my mic fixed? That's totally understandable, and I'm glad that he came on early to do the mic check. Dogs in Finance for $5. Has anyone brought out battle maps of World War II, especially Navy battles? And noted that if the Earth was flat, literally none of this would make sense. At all. At all.
Wait, you mean nautical charts are intentionally drawn and marked to conform to a sphere? Well, yeah, any of us who have actually seen them know that.
Yeah. Oh, I liked, in fact, Schrodinger's cat had one of his very first videos before he started covering First Amendment auditors. He had a great naval charts map that anybody, if you want to see some evidence for the curvature of the Earth, go look at Schrodinger's cat's his video about nautical charts and how ships use nautical charts to navigate through like treacherous terrains and shit like that underwater. We'll talk. Just go check it out. It's a good video. God's Auditor for $2. Vlad's almost smart enough to realize he's full of shit. Yeah, he's pretty close to being smart enough to realize he's not getting it right. At least he said something. What was it that he said? We brought something up, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you guys got me on that one." That was pretty funny. Everyone, we got you on everyone, Vlad. That's the truth. Dib for $2, $7.99. Oh man, I'm not even giving you the credit you need, Dib. Go team, go! Yeah, baby, you know it. David Oliver for £2. Show Vlad Mr. Sensible Shadow vid. You know, David, I didn't want to jump in and present on my own, so I really did just let Fohammer tell me what he wanted presented, and he gave me all his links. So I really didn't want to present anything that wasn't being presented by Fohammer. I thought it was only fair to do that. Is that correct, Fohammer?
Yeah, all of those were off the cuff. I had to search them myself, and I was trying to remember titles of videos and links that I've seen and all of the other stuff on the fly while Vlad was presenting his evidence. So I did the best I could with what I had, or with what I know.
PhD Tony for $5 Aussie. Vlad, if you're winning, then this is a look like an insane half-wit competition. Yeah, that's right. That's the only thing you're winning at and tonight, Vlad. But we still love you, man. Come back in the future. What were you gonna say, Fohammer?
That means I came in second place in the look like a half-wit, whatever Tony said.
Well, I don't know. There's always me too, right?
That is true.
That is. Every time I try to get excited, I always have to cough. Alyssum for $5 Aussie. Vlad, just to show how stupid your argument is, if the moon is only 70 miles wide, it is only 800 miles up. Throughout the day, it would change 3 times its size. Yeah, it's the same thing with the fucking sun. You know, if the sun were real close, then the distance above your head, if you do a triangle, right? The distance above your head versus the distance when it's significantly over a different part of the earth, the sun would drop in size by a lot. The moon too. It would literally get bigger and bigger and bigger and then smaller and smaller and smaller as it went away. But we don't see that. It's always the same fucking size. Good shit, Alyssum. Great fucking point. Dib for $7.99 for the replacement oven mitt fund. You know, I don't know if you knew this, Dib, but I burned my oven mitt today. I know that's not what you meant, but I'm actually going to go buy a new one now. Thank you so much. Alyssum, and I'll go grab the oven mitt to show you. I burned it cooking my cocaine bacon. Alyssum for $5 Aussie. God, I love you, Aussies. Please tell him that the path of totality is only the Umbra. I think we did. I think we got that through at least. Therefore, by his own admission, the moon is larger than 70 miles. Yes, exactly. And it doesn't matter because for us to get what we have on Earth, what we see during an eclipse, the sun has to be fucking huge. Like, it can't be fucking the same size as the moon. Get the fuck out of here. And if it's fucking huge, guess what else it means it is? It's a long ways a fucking way as well. Shit.
Yeah, I tried to point that out to him. It didn't go so well. He didn't quite get it.
David Oliver for £2 at noon. I hardly have a shadow. Yeah, that would be. You could do that in Hawaii. I think that's the only place in America you can go to Hawaii, and I believe the Tropic of Cancer passes through Hawaii. So on the summer solstice, if you go to Hawaii, you will get it. You'll set an object up like this and look down on the ground from above it, and there will be no shadow whatsoever. It's the only place in America you can do it, and you can't do it in the continental United States either. That sucks. Let's see. Alyssum for God, Alyssum, thank you. 5 Aussie dollars. Notice how the shadow from the Earth is darker than that of the moon. His Earth shows a penumbra. His moon does not. And I'm not sure if you were talking about his demonstration or not, which is why I asked him that, say, hey, look, redo that experiment, but this time I want to see you take a close-up of that ball. I don't want to see, from way back here trying to see this tiny, that dot, if those are all right proportions, then that dot is fucking tiny. Excuse me. Let's see. David Oliver for £5. There should be an MC Tune versus Multi Tom Tom epic rap battle. Does Multi Tom Tom put out rap music? That would be amazing. I want to watch that. And yeah, MC Tune is the greatest rapper alive, next to MC Hammer. Bella Charge for $2 New Zealand dollars. So done that. I think he says does that make him Vanty? I don't know. What's Vant? So he's Bella? What did you mean by this?
It's Bella. I never really understand what he's saying, to be fair.
Here, hold on. Bella, clarify that, please. Excuse me. Alyssum for $2. But we love you, yelling team. Yeah, I wanted to yell. I wanted to get in and yell, and I didn't. That will probably happen from time to time if I keep doing these debates. Rampant for 1,000 claps. I'm Team Vlad. Team Skeptic, give him victory. He is rad and Vlad. Yeah, well, you got a few people out there, Vlad, that like you, obviously. Rampant and Bella Charge. Two of the smartest people I know. Both like the mentally deficient person. But that's funny. That's hilarious. Rampant for another 1,000 claps. Woo! You probably even couldn't hear that because of my noise filter, but come on, Team Skeptic. That was an awesome joke. Don't be a hater. No, that was an awesome joke. You're right. It was great. Morton Nilsson for 5 Donkey Kong dollars. I'm not fat. It's the camera making me look curved. Fisheye lens. Citation fucking needed, Morton. Citation needed. The Athens 619, my dude, for $5. So throughout the entire debate, Rad has only made assertions with no citations. You have no argument, Vlad. Yeah, like I said, he did have one. The citation that it was a YouTube video, but it did come from what I would consider a reputable source. The people weren't saying anything that I wouldn't agree with. And so I'll give him that credit, but yeah, he needs to come with more citations as well. Just as there could be a few things that Fohammer could learn, there's also a few things that Vlad could learn from this debate. Robert Williams for $4.99. All of this talk of eclipses. Tonight is the annular lunar eclipse at around 4:30 a.m. Eastern. No fucking shit?
I'll be up for that.
I'll check it out. I'll be up for it. Yeah, now I'm going to have to check it out. Irish Demon. Oh, I'll take this badass camera outside and shoot some 4K footage. Let's see. Irish Demon, my man. For $2.99 Aussie, I'm going to be there for Foe's experiment. I dare you to show up, Irish Demon. I fucking dare you to show up. Morton Nilsson for another 45 Donkey Kong dollars. Oh my God, I'm gonna go play some Donkey Kong after this. I wonder if the air leaking from a tiny hole in the ISS makes a whistling sound. Don't even fucking go there, Morton. Don't even fucking go there. If it does, the ISS 1, Team Skeptic 0. Yeah, fuck the ISS if it whistles. I ain't here to hear all that shit. Sleepy Dan for $5. The millions of meteorites argument is so stupid. I was going to say this. Okay, here it is right here. Millions of bullets are fired every day on Earth, but it's so big they are very unlikely to hit you. Yes, not only that, but of the millions and millions and millions of bullets that were fired during World War II, I'm sure a few hit each other, but the majority of them just went right next to each other. You know, they didn't bang into each other, and there were millions of rounds fired at each other. People shooting directly at each other, and I'm sure a few of those bullets hit, but the majority of them did not. This is because even if you... Okay, so think of it like this. Jared, do me a favor, or Jared or Fohammer, one of you, look up what the surface area of the Earth is. And then I'll come back to you. When you have what the surface area of the Earth is, I'll come back to you.
197 million miles squared.
And he said, hold on. And he said that there were 25 million meteorites a day, right?
Yep.
Now, they're not going to have a preference on what time of day. So we're just going to say that 1 million meteorites per hour, micrometeorites is what he said, per hour. Okay. Now we have 195 million, right? Square miles.
97.
So 197 million?
197.
Okay, so we'll round that up to 200 million. That's per hour. That 200 million mile or 200 million miles squared surface area is getting pelted with only 1 million micro meteorites. That's roughly 1 per 250 miles squared. Get the fuck out of it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong about any of that?
Seems right to me. I'm the wrong person to ask.
I might have done some bad math there, but I'm hoping I didn't. Stuart, motherfucking Christmas. My man, I have an email that I mean to send you, man. So be on the lookout. It might be tomorrow before I get to it. But yeah, I got an email that I need to send you. Anti-math idiots. The beauty is you don't need any money to do it yourself. Just pencil, paper, compass, and straight edge. What's up, Bubba? Come here. Come on. Don't be nervous. And straight edge. No, they tell us. No, they tell us needed. You can discover, derive, and test all of mathematics yourself. The only barrier is your patience and drive to do so. I agree with you, man. I'm trying to, that's crazy because that's one of the things I'm trying to be better at is math. And I feel like I have a pretty good grip on math, but there's math I don't remember. There's older math. I was talking with PhD Tony. I presented him with a math problem that he got immediately. I was like, oh man, I was so impressed with him. He does have a PhD though, so he should have gotten it. But I was talking to him and I was like, yeah, right now I'm trying to, remember my cinch and cosh functions, like how to properly use those in like parabolas and shit like that, parabolic functions. It's just something I do, when I get bored with learning orbital mechanics or learning about physics or anything like that, I always go back to my nerdy math lessons. And I try to remember as much as I can, or at least relearn what I forgot. Thank you so much. And that was for $66.60. And these aren't just normal dollars, guys. These are Sega Genesis dollars. These are better than normal dollars. Alyssum for 5 Aussie dollars. How to defeat Flat Earth. Ask for a functional Flat Earth based map. Yeah, I don't think Vlad was prepared to present a non-functional Flat Earth map. And that's like pretty much every Flat Earth map out there. Commander Darklight for 20 Aussie dollars. Thanks for a great show, you guys. And thanks, Vlad, for proving the globe. He did. He proved the globe. He especially proved the globe when he said when he was like saying, you know, why is it that we can't see each other after like 6 miles? Because it's fucking curved, you moron. That's why. Alyssum, 2 Aussie dollars. Kudos to Vlad for behaving like a human being. He did. That is, I'll give him that. He presented some sort of, according, when you compare it to other flat earth evidence or what other flat earthers say to support their arguments, he actually had evidence, and he actually was pretty cool about his presentation. That's something that I do appreciate. So thank you very much, Rad Vlad, if you're still in the chat. Holy Smalls. Holy fucking Smalls, baby. $2. No message, just some love. Love you, brother. I love you too, Holy Smalls, and I love all you guys in the chat as well. You guys fucking rock. Y'all really kept this fucking entertaining tonight. I'm telling you, I never read the chat when I'm debating. I just don't, Jared. I just, Fohammer, I don't do that.
You gotta, well, and that's the thing is, you gotta put your focus where it's actually deserved. That's why people like Natalie and others really, I don't feel as viable people to even have a discussion with, because they're not paying attention to what you're actually saying and what you're presenting. So there is not going to be a chance at a meaningful discussion. There's just not.
I agree. I try to ignore the chat. It's difficult too, because, everybody's talking about what's going on, and human nature, you're naturally curious about what they're saying. But you have to give your opponent the respect they're due, and most cases they will return it. Like Vlad, I was respectful, Vlad was respectful.
Yeah. Alyssum for $2. We need to team up with Team FTFE and MC Hatoon. We need to get MC Toon on here for one of these. He does it on his channel, and he's really good at debating, guys. I want y'all to know this. He's one of the premier debaters in our community, because he is very respectful with what he does. He does things in a way that even his children could go back and watch, and that's something I appreciate, because my child can watch it because he's 20 years old and he didn't mind a few fucks here and there, but at the same time, MC Toon does it really well, and I respect that guy a lot. Peter Cranston for 5 Aussie dollars. This is just because I love Team's channel. Well, Peter Cranston, I love you, bro. I love you, and I love all the other people out in the chat that are making this fucking enjoyable. I didn't even get to finish what I was saying. What I was saying is, when I debate, I never, ever look at the chat. I don't want someone to say, oh, you're getting your info from the chat. No, I don't. I don't do that. So tonight, while all this was going on and I was off camera, I was just sitting back rolling in the chat. Jared, you had me rolling a few times. Everybody in the chat was amazing. So thank you guys out there. I'm not reading the next super chat because it's from Fohammer, and he knows better than to fucking super chat me when he's on my fucking panel. Fohammer335 for $5. This means I still get to make fun of Team's COD skills. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey, at least
you can't make fun of my COD skills. We need to play a game. We need to play a game, Fohammer. Let's see. David Oliver for 10 pounds. 10 pounds. Fohammer, what's your take on Horace Lupercal? I think he was loyal. He was loyal to the Emperor, but when he died on Davin 4, it was his corpse that plagued the Imperium, and not Horus himself.
So I actually agree with that. I believe Horus was a host to a demon. But there's nothing in the canon that can support that theory. But the way he acted after he died and the way he acted before he died are very different. And it's subtle little differences at first, and it becomes much more noticeable the closer he gets to betraying the Emperor. In the last,
and even then, that was a really quick and dramatic change. And then you have that moment of clarity upon his ship right before he dies again at the hand of the Emperor, where it's like, oh shit, what have I done? So
And to be
you
fair,
have that bit where
Go ahead.
yes, team, it is nerd out time. But yeah,
Yeah,
so you
that's what I
have
was
that
saying.
moment of clarity that it just goes to show that there was definite demonic influence that probably was possession, because one of the reasons why the Chaos Gods absolutely hate the Anathema, why they hate the Emperor, is he's one of the few entities that is in the material realm who could just look at a demon and they're gone.
it's actually theorized that he could, in fact, kill the demon gods themselves, the chaos gods.
Now,
And
hey, historical philosopher has a philosophical question to ask you guys. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
only the
Warhammer
best
40K.
series
Warhammer 40K, right? All right. The best what?
the best series ever.
Okay, it's a game too, isn't it?
Yes, it's a game.
Okay,
It's
that's
a
why I'm getting confused.
series. It's a real-time strategy series. You name it, they've dabbled in it.
Okay, so I have a few super chats left. Thank you very much, David Oliver. I appreciate that, and I'm sure that these guys didn't mind nerding out for a second either. The Sun Express for $8. Challenge for team. Ooh, challenge. Okay. Look up the centrifuge problem from YouTube channel number file. Report back how much it messes with your head. I will. And I watched number file, so I'm surprised I hadn't seen that one before. God, I want to... Okay, before today's over, I'm going to ask the chat a math question, all right? And I want to see who immediately gets it.
43.
It's super, super simple if you think outside the box. So I'll pose a math question to you guys before we get out of here tonight that Tony got, PhD Tony got on the spot. He looked at it and went, hold up, this doesn't make sense. I was like, now you get it. All right, Peter Cranston for $5. I have my own experiments that I want a flat earther to debunk. Cranston, hey, again, these new debate nights are going to be. I want to open it up to you guys and give you guys the opportunity to come on and debate. You always watch us do it. I'm sure that most of you out there pay attention and probably know every single argument that I could possibly present for anything, which is probably how Fohammer got all his knowledge just watching me. He's obviously not, like, he probably can't read in real life, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't read. I don't know things. I can't do anything for myself. Team is the only person who taught me anything. That AT2 guy, yeah, he sent me back the amount of knowledge I had.
Sorry, she's
so it
my
worked.
monitor
Awesome.
Again. Okay, so you just hang out here with me until we're done. Alyssum for 2. Oh, and thank you, Peter Cranston. I would love to know what your experiments are myself. Alyssum, your child is 20. I thought you were like 35. Close. I'm 42. Oh God, guys. I turned 43 this month.
Jesus, you're old.
I'm fucking getting old. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, he is 20 years old and he's bigger than me. Pisses me off. You know, where'd my genes go? You know, like why would you make my son bigger than me? That's not fucking fair. Fucking God. Fucking God. And his mom's smaller than me too. She's smaller than me. I was hoping I'd have a kid that was about medium height between us two. She was like perfect size for a female. And if he would have been halfway, I'd have been able to kick his ass still. Now I can't kick his ass. I just threaten to all the time. Dark Steve 84 for $5 gonna get you Wednesday night, bro. I know what you mean by that, Dark Steve. I know what you fucking mean. So I'm sure most of you are aware that I do these epic super chat readings at the end of the night. I didn't want to do it today because of my chest and my voice. I'm still mending. It'd be no purpose in getting almost healthy only to go back where I was at. So I appreciate you being understanding, Dark Steve, and we will see you Wednesday night. And that goes into our final super chat of the night. I just got, this comes from Jackalope Herdmaster for $2. I just got banned from Without a Crystal Ball. Nail her ass. Lol. She's going to be nailed. She's going to get her ass nailed on Wednesday. Were you here for that, Jared, when I said I was doing that?
No.
Okay. Wednesday night, I'm doing Without a Crystal Ball, the ultimate Karen video.
It's going to be live on Pornhub too, don't worry.
No, it will not. No,
Team
it
Skeptic.
will not.
It'll deserve to be.
But, I am going to do it because she's pulling some fucked ass shit right now. And I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of the major drama content creators are talking about her right now. She's been, and here's the thing, Jared, okay? She's been striking everybody. If you say her name, she strikes you. So I'm not going to say her name. Well, hold on. Chat. 270 people, 269. We can't say just round it up to 270. It's 269. Well, now it's 272, but it was 269. What are we going to call her that night? We need a name. Because we can't use her name, because we use her name, we can get privacy strikes. So come up with a name. No, I can't call her bitch.
No,
I'd love to.
Straight up, Karen Joy.
Karen Joy.
Oh,
Karen Choi. No, hey, that's it right there. Karen Choi.
You got this video struck, AT2. Good job.
No, he didn't. He said Karen Joy. But look, this is her name right here. That's what we're gonna call her, Karen Choi Balson. You can't troll me, people. I'm the ultimate troll. Alyssa, oh, we got 2 more super chats that came in. Alyssa for 2 Aussie dollars. Huh?
I am the ultimate troll.
You are good, but I'm the ultimate. I poop on trolls. I eat trolls and poop them out on other trolls. That's how good I am. Alyssa. Oh wait. I can't say the R word. Well, I can't. I don't give a fuck. Rape isn't allowed on Pornhub. So yeah. Who was it that suggested I do something on Pornhub?
B.
What was it you were suggesting to me to do?
Team Skeptic fucks Without a Crystal Ball soul.
Oh God.
Jeez. Wait. Hang on. Fohammer, there's a problem. She needs to have one first.
That is very true. We can give her AT2s.
Well, I intend for the whole okay, let me read the last super chat. Let me read this last super chat because I was getting ready to answer it without reading it. I was being an idiot. The Athens 619 for $5 says, get ready to be sued by talking about Karen Choi Balson. And then it says, star error, comment cannot be found. It was removed and user has been sued. Well, you know what? That's why we're going to have OPT lawyer on here to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going to have legal here. So when she bitches about it, I'm going to say, yeah, fuck you. There was somebody here from legal and they were watching me to make sure I didn't do anything wrong. All right. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with super chats. We can now party. Oh, Jared, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, it was fun. Nice way to end the weekend and get back to work on Monday. Yay.
Yay. Yep, I don't, this is my work, so I get back to work. I'm going to start putting out material in December again. Let me give you guys a heads up. In December, I'm going to start putting out material again, and that material is going to come out in different kinds of stages, okay? I'm going to do some very vanilla content, and I'm going to do some very vulgar content, okay? It's going to be on a scale, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each different kind, and I'm going to go back and look at how the algorithm handled that, you know? You might have a video or two where there's zero cussing in it at all, and then you might have a fucking video where everybody in the chat, get ready to type it. Fuck. You know, that's what you're going to hear is fuck. And the people in the chat, I want to hear, type fuck. Please type fuck. Moderators, get ready to approve because it's about to be necessary. Alyssum for 2 Aussie dollars. One shot on me. Yes, I will take this shot. Wait, you got to be here for me to take that shot on you, bro.
That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, but I'm okay with cheap liquor, bro. I do not need the good stuff. I have some good stuff, but I do not need it.
You like your liquor like you are yourself. Cheap and easy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I guess that's going to be where we end it. Jared, you have anything to add before we get out of here?
Ave Imperator, Gloria in Excelsis Terra.
Care to translate, nerd?
Basically, glory to the God Emperor.
I love how I said that, right? Care to translate, nerd? Like, everybody knows that we're nerds, man. We're the biggest nerds on fucking YouTube, and I love it. Fohammer, man, you did wonderful tonight. I'm so glad you made it on to do what you did, and you handled yourself well. I want to say, and I said it earlier, the only thing I would have changed about your presentation, and there's nothing wrong with it, is that you were too nice. And I understand why you were being as nice as you were, because you wanted to be respectful and you didn't want to cut him off. And, you know, it's a very honorable way of handling stuff like this. But at the same time, you got to dive in, bro. You got to dive in and shut that shit up. That shit's wrong. Let them, when the moment they say something wrong, let them finish the sentence, and then don't let him go further again until you've corrected him. Or until you've been corrected yourself. That's the only way that it needs to be done. And if he doesn't want to learn, if he doesn't want to be corrected, and I'm not talking about Vlad here, I'm talking about anybody. If they don't want to learn or they don't want to be corrected, then just move on. Then you've won, okay? Because you're right. But good job tonight. Do you have anything you want to add before you get out of here?
O immortal Emperor, have mercy on us, miserable, unworthy that we are. O Master of the Galaxy, protect your flock from the alien. O Keeper of the Light, guide our darkened path with your radiance.
Fucking nerd. Oh, man, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I had a great time tonight. Thank you, chat. Chat, you guys are always amazing, and tonight was fucking cool as shit. It was awesome to not have to be a participant in the debate and to get back and sit around and do what James does. James is great at sitting there and being a passive participant to two people arguing, and I tried to be the same passive participant, but I also wanted to interject and point out when people were saying extremely wrong things. Because I do know that you don't know everything, you know? I don't know everything. But you have less experience in debating these topics than I do. So when some of these things that Rad Vlad were saying that were wrong, not all the time you picked up on them, but that's not really your fault. You know, you're getting into it, and you'll eventually get to the point where you're just, you know, it's second nature to you. It's like drinking water. Prime Red, do you happen to still be there? Because I know that he's been out for a while. Let me check the thing. And by the way, y'all, somebody tried to porn bomb us during the show. I just put that shit to rest. Thank you, VMix. I love you.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that.
Yeah, you heard that and I looked over and it was coming from Vlad's old call, which I accidentally showed on screen for like half a fucking second. These dickweeds these dickweeds are fast with it. And I just cut it off and shut down that thing. So yeah, we had a good time tonight, and love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Jared, Fohammer, stick around so we can chat for a second. But outside of that, chat, y'all have a good night. I'm Team Skeptic. Oh, shit. Before I start doing it, I got to learn to not start that part before I get my chair set up for the rocking back. Okay, yeah. Now I'm ready. I got to have something where I can say, you know, countdown timer. Like, I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.